Body. Thank you for tuning into my channel called Take Heed to the Message with Abang Anwa. It just means queen. So the conversation we gonna have this morning is heavy, okay? And I had to play this song because y'all know BMU, Black Men Unite. Back in the day had this hit record, okay? This hit song that made other black men look at themselves. Okay? It's not easy being a man. Do you hear what I'm saying? It is not easy. A lot of women believe that it's easy being a man. It is not easy being a man. It's not easy being a young man either. Because when you become grown, you have to make certain decisions on how you want to live the rest of your life. And when you're young, you have to make certain decisions on if you're going to make it to manhood. Okay? First, I want to say that this conversation, once again, is going to be triggering. Okay? And there may be some people that may unfollow me, and it's okay. It's okay. Because it's in my heart to speak like this. It's okay if you unfollow me. If it hurts, baby, it's okay. You can unfollow me. But I want y'all to look at something, okay? I want you to look at something and I want you to understand something. The truth is never easy. It's never easy to swallow. Do you hear me? The truth is never easy to swallow. Do you understand? It always hurts. Now, there's a couple of content creators that I'm going to play today. I don't agree with everything that they're saying, but we have to have both sides speak on this matter. Okay? And y'all may get in here and call me out my name and call me this and call me that. But one thing that I know about bullying, I have 5 children. Count them. 5. I have 5 children. So I know the stuff that young men go through. I know the stuff that young girls go through when it's pertaining to bullying in school. I have been to school many occasions dealing with situations with our children. So I know what bullying looks like because a lot of people said, take heed. Take heed. You probably don't have no children. I do. I have 5. My oldest is 30. So I know what bullying looks like. Do you hear what I'm saying? I know what bullying looks like. The question I asked yesterday, let's get to the title before I say the question one more time, was Carmelo Anthony in the right? Okay? Was Carmelo Anthony in the right? Now, I put a post out yesterday with both of these 2 young men, their pictures. And a lot of people were upset with me. But at the end of the day, I'm going to hear your side and you're going to hear mine. And it's okay if you don't like what I said. And it's okay if you want to unfollow me. I have no problem with that. It's okay if you want to call me out my name. That's your business. Just don't do it in my chat. We can have a conversation, but don't be disrespectful in my chat. My mods will block you. All I'm saying is that we got to look at both sides. These were 2 families that has been devastated. Both of these families are broken. You have a mother of 2 twins. One of her twins is gone. You have a mother that her oldest child is gone because of the decisions that he made. You understand? And I know a lot of y'all in here, oh no, this is Texas. I think y'all said it's Texas. That, oh no, this is going to be stand your ground or whatever. And I want to share something with you. At the end of the day, because a lot of y'all got upset, about um, the GoFundMe, right? Okay. And y'all said, well, they have done it for other Caucasian children who have done the same thing. And I'm going to share something with you. With them collecting money for other Caucasian children and grown men, okay, the shit is still wrong. It's still wrong. When those incidents happened, Take Heed said, no, that shit is wrong too. But not every Caucasian family agreed with sending money to these people who deleted people. Not every Caucasian family sent money. So when y'all say, oh no, they all stick together, no, all of them don't stick together. All blacks don't stick together either. I'm African American, let me say that correctly. African Americans, we all don't stick together. We all don't have one mind. Some of us look at the situation and it looks horrible. So, this is the thing. I want y'all to look at this situation. They said that the twins were bullies in a school. Okay? This is what they said. The twins were bullies in the school. Okay? Does bullying mean death? I want to know, because a lot of y'all in my chat bullied somebody in your lifetime. Does bullying mean death? A lot of y'all, okay, was bullies. Does bullying mean death? Take Heed had wrote something. I wrote something on IG because they showed a picture of these two young men. And I said, the problem that I see here, I didn't say everybody else see it, but the problem that I see is that this generation and the generation before, y'all don't know how to take ass whoopings. You don't. Y'all don't know how to take ass whoopings. I know it's nasty, like, oh, wait a minute, Take Heed, you wrong, this and that. No. Somebody put in my chat, well, in your time, this is what they said, in your time, it was much worse. But see, he talking about the racism part. I'm talking about children just fighting in school. Because when you had a disagreement with somebody, you put your hands up. You hear me? You put your hands up. Nobody went and got any weapons or none of that stuff. Now, Take Heed to the message does not support violence. I don't support violence. Thank you, Stephen. Take Heed to the message does not support violence. Okay? But this right here, I want you to look at this. Two mothers lost their son. Two mothers lost their son. One will be laid to rest. My condolences to the family. And the other one will go do prison time. This child will go to prison. No matter what y'all sitting up here talking about, that, oh, it's a stand your ground. It was self-defense. This is the problem. And it's okay if you disagree with me. Okay? Good morning to everybody in the chat. I'm just trying to get this out real quick. It's okay if you disagree with me. We're going to agree to disagree today. Okay? You're looking at two young boys. They said the twins were bullies, and this one was just defending himself. Here's the problem that I see. Okay? The tent belonged to the school. The tent didn't belong to the students, right? Okay? So anybody can get under this tent. All right? But when bullies are in a certain place and you don't want no smoke, you shouldn't be around them. If other children said that these two Caucasian boys is bullies, You shouldn't be around them. He went under the tent with his book bag. When him and the boy began to start shouting at each other, they told him to get out of here, whatever, and he didn't want to leave or whatever. He said, if you touch me again, I don't care how much y'all believe that makes sense. If you touch me again. If you touch me again, Kameen, I'm going to rise up and put my hands up and we going to scrap. Not, oh, if you touch me again, I go in my book bag and take out a pocket knife. I'm just saying. John, thank you for the $9.99 super chat. John said, great day, Candy Cane, direct deposit just hit. Happy Friday. Thank you, John. I appreciate you. So, I'm not saying that it was right for them to bully him from under the tent because the tent belonged to the school. Okay? But if I had encountered with these boys before and they are bullies in the school, why am I next to them? Do you understand what I'm saying? Why am I putting myself in this situation? Do you understand? Good morning, everybody in the chat. Ricky, I see you, baby. How are you? Why am I putting myself in this situation? I want y'all to think about this. He had a pocket knife in his bag, which you know you can't bring certain things to school. Am I right? You can't not bring certain things to school. That was one of them. You can't bring a pocket knife to school. So he brought it to the school grounds. He had the mind to do something. Now, maybe he had an encounter with these boys before. And maybe he wanted to get some get back. Maybe. And I understand that because, listen, Take Heed got two big sons that look like titans. Okay? The oldest one looked like a titan, and he about 6-something in height. And he's 30. The youngest one, he's about 5'9", okay? And he is only 14. He's a big guy. He look like a linebacker. And me and my husband ain't take DNA on him. My husband will question that childbirth. That's how big he is, okay? Both of these boys went through bullying. Even the girls too. Went through bullying too, okay? And we live in the suburbs. Now, the oldest one didn't get to enjoy the suburbs, but we still lived in a good neighborhood, but the school he was going to was a problem. Now, I always laced this boy in name brand clothes and shoes. I have always laced him. That oldest one, jewelry, everything, because he was my only. So he wore the best stuff out of all the other children. Before, because he was the only one for a long time. So he dressed the best. Now, my other kids, they don't wear name brands because I didn't raise them to be like that because I learned from the first one. Okay? So this boy would go to school with all types of name brand, his sneakers, his boots, his jewelry. He even had his name on his jewelry, on his chain, everything. The boy had like bracelets, like well, you know what I'm talking about, like chain link bracelet and shit. The boy dressed nice. Okay? Now, he get to school, he had a bully at the school. Okay? He had a bully at the school. Now, he was big. He was already big. Okay? But it was a boy who used to bully him. Snatch his book bag. He took his Jordans off on one day, this and that. So he finally got the sneakers back, but he told me the boy took the sneakers off him. So he come home, he had a black eye, all this. Now, mama grew up in the hood, okay? I grew up in the hood, but I didn't want to raise my children in the hood. So I never taught my kids how to fight, even the ones that's here now. They don't know how to fight, okay? Now, this one came home, black eye, he was crying, and the project kid in me was on fire. Like, what the, You know, I was on fire. I was ready to go beat the mama, beat everybody in the house. That's how crazy I was thinking I was about to take the shit, okay? So my son, when I looked at him, I'm sitting out on the porch. I see him walking up, and he got this big black eye. He was real high yellow. That oldest one is like real high yellow. Big black eye, okay, walking home from school. I said, what happened? He said, so-and-so had hit me. He took my book bag, you know, whatever. And I was trying to fight mom, but he had me on the ground. So this is what I did. I got off the porch and I started fighting him. He was crying. I said, that's what I need you to do. Cry. Cry, damn it. And I was hitting him. I said, you gonna fight back? He said, no, ma, I ain't gonna fight back. I said, you gonna fight back, damn it. I was hitting him with combinations and everything. And he said, Mom, I'm tired. I said, well, if you tired, then you better fight. So now he started fighting. He said, Mom, I don't want to hurt you. I said, you got to use your strength. Use your strength. Take heed to the message does not support violence. I don't support violence. Take heed to the message does not support violence. I don't want my channel taken down. So now the next day, okay, he went back to the school. I said, you see all this strength you got in you? I said, you see how strong you are? You're going to use your weight. I said, you play football. Hit them like you about to hit somebody hit them like you about to hit somebody when you in the game. And take them down. That's what I told him. I said, once you hit them, lift them, drop them to the ground, and then get them. That's what I told my son. So now, you know, I get the call from the school. Okay, I get the call from the school. They told me, I said, okay, no problem. I'm gonna punish him when he gets home. You know, you gotta be talking, you know, parenting. You have to be respectful, you know, to the principal and stuff like that. So I see him walking home. He happy, this and that. He said, Mom, I know you're gonna punish me, but I'm going to be happy to take that punishment. I said, player, I'm not going to punish you. I did a whole that with him. I said, that's how you handle bullies. That's how you handle bullies. Okay? So now, could it have went left? It could have went left. It could have went left. You should not condone your child to do any fighting. It could have went left. Why is Take Heed saying it could have went left? Because you never know what people bring to the fight. You never know what people bring to the fight. Do you hear me? Why is Take Heed saying that? Going into another story. Wait for me. We're going to get into it, but I'm going into another story. There was a grown woman that lived in my projects when I was in Bayway, when I was a teenager. She was talking about my mama, how my mama been smoking crack and this and that and all this other stuff. And she was laughing with the other women in the court. And the other women said, you know, her children is crazy. If her children hear you talking about her, they going to be wanting to fight you. Because me and my sister, we used to fight grown women in our projects. We didn't care. We'd decimate you. Me and my sister together, we'd jump you, everything. Take heed to the message does not support violence. Don't take my channel down. Take heed to the message does not support violence. So now, one of the women at the table came and told my mama that this woman was talking about her. Mind you, this woman outside, she sold pharmacy products, okay? So she was talking about how my mama bought crack from her also. So one of the women that was at the table came and told my mama. And me and my sister was upset about it. We said, Mom, my mother said, well, I do smoke crack now. I do smoke crack. She ain't lying about that. So I told my mama, I said, so what? So what you smoke crack? How many people out here smoke crack too? So she wants to get out here and talk about you when her own sister doing the same thing. So my mean behind go downstairs. This is why you have to be careful what you do. Because mind you, the project already knew that me and my sister was a problem. They already knew we were a problem, okay? So now I come outside, I called her everything except the child of God because I was trying to get her, okay? She at the desk, she not at the desk, she at that table outside. She runs into her house, okay? And I get in front of her project door and I start screaming, calling her all this, be that, whatever, you know what I'm saying? She come outside in a hoodie, black hoodie, I think it was black or gray. She had a butcher knife like this on her. This thing was nasty. We were fighting. I still fought her with the knife, okay? I still fought her with the knife because the anger was in me to get her, okay? So now she go stab me. I still got the stitches in my hand. She stabbed me in my hand with the knife, okay? I rip off my shirt, tie my shirt to my hand, okay? And I still, because I wanted her, and I was in pain. Okay, I was in pain. It was a problem. Okay? Now, after that, my mom, my sisters, all of them running downstairs. I'm blood is everywhere, y'all. Okay? This is the problem with fighting. Because you don't know what could have happened. This woman could have took me out, clean out. And I wanted her that bad. She could have took me clean out. But she only was able to get my hand. This is the problem with us fighting. You don't know who brings what. Do you hear what I'm saying? You don't know who brings what. This is why Take Heed does not condone fighting. I don't. I do not condone fighting. All because now, mind you, if I never would have got that situation that happened to me, Take Heed would still be ready to get some good. Okay? I would still be ready to get some good. This thing happened to me and I never taught my oldest son how to fight. Never taught him. It was only until the bullies came and I had to teach him how to lay hands and didn't want to teach him how to lay hands because anytime you're laying hands on somebody, something can happen. You can hit the person too hard. They hit the floor. They head, hit the floor. They pass on to glory. Anything can happen when you laying hands on somebody. You don't know when it's time for God to call them to glory. And so now you out there fighting them and this and that, and then something happened and they get sent to glory because you were fighting them. This is why Take Heed have a problem with this. That whole situation taught me a lot. I could have been sent to glory. Take Heed would not be here today. Do I condone bullying? I don't. You ain't supposed to be bullying nobody. You ain't supposed to be punking nobody. One more story, then we're going to go to all the other foolery that everybody else got to say. Okay? Our son, the one that's 14 years old, he had a friend at his school. They was cool. Him and the boy was cool. Something happened between them two. And so the other boy started hanging around with a group of other kids, 4 other children. Okay? So now they decided they don't like our son. Okay? They decided they don't like our son. So the one that was supposed to be his friend was like fake being his friend because he wanted to please those other boys that he was hanging around with, trying to be cool and stuff. Always those suburb kids, always trying to be cool, like, they know how to get some good. So now, one day, see, boys, it's hard being a man. Do you hear me? It's hard being a boy and it's hard being a man. Do you hear me? Going into manhood is a problem, okay? Because you always get other boys that will rally up other boys to fight you for no reason, okay? So now, the one that our son thought was his friend had gave him, those what they call those little gummy bear things, right? Okay. So, and it got like that little seal that go back, like it opens and you can seal it back. So the boy hog spitted in the gummy bears. So you couldn't see it. It was like a big packet. He hog spit in it. Okay, I guess he dumped it out, then put it all the way at the bottom, then put the gummy bears in it. I know it's nasty. I know it's nasty. Okay, but this is what happened. And gave it to our son. Because my son thought they were still friends. Okay, so my son began to eat the gummy bears because they thought they was friends and this and that. He get to the bottom, he see all this stuff inside the packet. So my son throws the packet down, and my son get up. Now I told y'all how big he is. He like 5'9". He's a big guy. Okay, big guy. He's swole. Like, you know what I'm saying. So now the security blocks everybody. This is a suburb school, y'all. The security blocks everybody, and the boy and his friends was like, yeah, we gonna get you, we gonna do this, do that, right? So now, after that day, they was bullying him, okay? Bullying him. I did not know about this. He did not tell me, okay? He didn't tell me. The boys don't tell nothing. They just stay quiet because you wanna know why? There's a lot of situations where boys don't tell because nobody listens, okay? A lot of situations, boys don't tell. Grown men don't tell because nobody listens, okay? Even Take Heed has been in this situation, okay? This boy planned in his mind that he knew he couldn't take all 5 of the boys, okay? Because it was 4 friends, and then his friend was the 5th boy. So he knew he couldn't take all of them, okay? The last day of school, couple days before school, I see him wrestling around the house. I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? He wrestling with his spirit, okay? What's going on? What's going on? I keep asking him, are you okay? Are you okay? Yeah, Mom, I'm okay. Why you keep asking me, Mom? I'm okay, I'm okay. I said, okay. So now, the last day of school, you know, somehow the school had fights at the end of the school year. I never heard of it because our other 2 children went to the school, and I ain't never hear no fight day because the 2 oldest, the girls, they just, you know, they mind their business. They go home. They don't care about all that other nonsense. So now our son was planning to fight this boy. Okay? So what happened was they were all walking. And our son was trying to make sure those 4 boys wasn't with that one that he wanted to get. Okay? So he kept stalling like he was tying his sneaker, kept stalling. He was close to the school, kept acting like he tied his sneaker because he wanted that one to be alone by himself. So now our son walks up and he gets in the boy's face and he says, this is payback. This is payback. The boy said, what you mean is payback? My son hit him with 3 combinations. He hit him. Bow, 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 and then uppercut him, right? Okay? Now he falls into the bush. My son began to wail on this boy behind, and he told him, you better not never say nothing. While he hitting him, you know how when you spank your child, you talking mess to him. So he hitting him, and he telling them, don't you ever do that nonsense to me again. Okay, so now my son calls me, okay? Because now he trying to get away because now the boy done linked up with his 4 friends. He trying to get away from the boys. He called me. Mama, come pick me up, this and that, whatever. I said, what happened? What happened? No, Mom, they about to jump me. They about to jump me. So I get in my car, swing over, get to the school. I see the principal. I said, listen, some boys is about to jump my son. I need you to come with me. So the principal jumps in his car, follows me. We finally see my son, and he's walking back and forth, pacing this and that. He said, Mom, I fought. I took him, Mom. I took him. So the principal looked at me. He said, I thought you said they jumped him. I said, that's what he told me. So now he started telling the principal what happened. This is when I find out the boy hog spit in the gummies, big gummy bag, and he sealed it back and gave it to my son. So the principal said, oh, so that mean you gonna get suspended too because, you know, you fought him. And I told the principal, I said, I didn't even know that this happened. Because if this happened, I wouldn't even called you. I wouldn't even called you. He didn't tell me. So I looked at the principal. I gave my son a high five right in front of the principal's face. The principal said, Miss So-and-so. I said, It's the last day of school. It's the last day of school. Have a good day. He said, Miss, I said, have a wonderful day. Put my son in the car. We drove back home. I said, boy, why you ain't tell me that this happened? He said, Mama, I just knew I was going to do it on my own. I knew I was going to do it on my own. Take heed to the message does not support violence. I want to say that clearly. Take heed to the message does not support violence. I don't want my channel taken out. The moral to those 3 stories is fighting is not the answer. Do you hear what I'm saying? Fighting is not the answer. Weapons is not the answer. I want to say that. Okay? But if someone is bullying you and you go report it, you have reported it to the school, you reported it to the school, you reported it to everybody, and nothing gets handled. Nothing gets handled. You have reported it, they didn't do anything. This is when you tell your child, okay, that since nothing was done, the next time somebody lay hands on you, you whoop ass, okay? Take heed to the message does not support violence. But all this could have been avoided. Do you hear what I'm saying? All this could have been avoided. This is the uncomfortable truth, my brothers and sisters. Karmelo Anthony should have not even been near these two boys. Should have not even been near them. If they're bullies, you stay away from bullies. You stay away from bullies. Now, if he wanted to get some get back, maybe they did something to him, he wanted to get some get back, what you supposed to do is separate the 2 bullies. That's how you do it. You separate the 2 bullies. When someone is ready to lay hands on you, you separate them and you get them one by one. This is what I was taught growing up. You get them one by one. Now, you may not like what I'm saying, and you may be offended by what I'm saying. And it's okay to scroll up and not watch me no more or unfollow me. I'm not going to be upset with you. That's just my thoughts and what I believe. They said these 2 white boys was bullies. Okay. Okay, they was bullies. But does that excuse what Anthony did? Because I know I'm going to say his name wrong in the front. Does that excuse what Anthony did? It doesn't excuse what he did. Even if the white boys was bullies, how many people have been bullied before? Raise your hand. I've been bullied before, and I'm a project kid. Have you been the bully before? I've been the bully before too. That doesn't mean you're supposed to pass away because you're being a bully. That just means you need an ass whooping to stop you from being a bully. That's what that means. Somebody got to whoop your ass to stop you from being a bully. I know a lot of y'all want to throw the race card in here. Hey, Tracy. A lot of y'all want to throw the race card in here. But, baby, these are 2 boys that were fighting. 2 boys that didn't like each other, regardless of color. Because boys had the 2 boys, the boy who didn't like my son was African American. The oldest one that went through the same thing, his bully was African American. No matter what color these 2 are, that doesn't mean that this should make sense to us. This does not make sense. We should not be up here like, yeah, it's right that he deleted somebody. Even when we get in here and talk about the GoFundMe, even when we talked about the GoFundMe for a lot of white men and white boys who did something to a black man or a black child, and that black women, and that they got GoFundMes, that's still wrong. That is still wrong at the end of the day, and Take Heed will tell you that shit is wrong. There should be there should be no GoFundMes for anybody who deleted anybody, no matter what color they are. Do you understand? Right is right and wrong is wrong at the end of the day. Do you understand? When you had all this situation happen with a lot of our black men and black boys, and they were sent to glory at the hands of a white man or a white boy or whatever like that. All white people didn't agree that the GoFundMe made sense. All white people didn't agree. They called those white men and white boys murderers. That's what they called them. As black people, we cannot all be like, yeah, this makes sense. We cannot all get in here and be like, this makes sense. Hey, Mr. He said, how are you? We cannot all get in here and be like, yeah, this is right. That what Anthony did is right because, oh, they have done so many things to our children and stuff like that. This is not get back. This is not payback. It is not. It's not get back. It is not payback. This is wrong. 2 children that were fighting, and even though y'all get in here and said the white boys were bullies, that still doesn't make it right to delete somebody. It still doesn't make it right. And I know y'all want to make it right, but it's not. It doesn't make sense. Some of y'all in the chat was bullies. Some of y'all in the chat got bullied. Do you understand? Some of y'all got bullied, and I understand that. But does bullying mean death? That's the question. Does bullying mean death? You got 2 young men. One is sent to glory. The family have to bury this young man. And then you got one that's going to prison. God knows how long. This baby going to prison. They probably gonna put him under the jail. And we're in here co-signing this stuff. This is not the time to co-sign it. And this is the thing. A lot of y'all who don't agree and they'll say, oh, y'all Negroes who coming out here agreeing about what happened on the Caucasian side, y'all ain't nothing but house ninjas anyway. That's not, oh, somebody paying you. You know, some of y'all get in here and say that nonsense too. It's what's right and wrong, baby. This is what it is. It's what's right and wrong at the end of the day. I'm sorry. I know a lot of y'all don't like what I'm saying, and I understand that, but it's what's right and wrong at the end of the day. Just because someone is a bully doesn't mean they're supposed to die. He went under the school tent, right? He went under the school tent. Some people say he ain't had the right. He had the right. The school tent, it's the school tent. It wasn't nobody else's tent. It was the school tent. He had the right to be there. It was the school property. The problem is that he brought the pocket knife. He brought the pocket knife. That's the problem. Somebody said, oh no, the twins were like close to 200 pounds. The young boy was like 130 pounds and this and that. Let me share something with you. One thing growing up, being a project kid, I want to share this with y'all real quick. When you get jumped, there's many people in this chat right now, you have been jumped before. And your mama probably told you this is the best advice to take when you get jumped. You grab one. Every hit that those other ones give you, that's what you give the one you got on the ground. That's what my mama taught me. You could be getting jumped, but though she always said you got to grab one. Grab one. And every time they hit you, you get that one. You get that one. You want to get that one real good. So now when they get up there again talking about they want to get you, the one who got the behind whooped, he or she not going to want to fight. They not going to want to fight. Take heed to the message does not support violence. Take heed to the message does not support violence. I don't want my channel down. This is what I was taught growing up. Grab one. Regardless if y'all say that Anthony was smaller. He doesn't look like that in the pictures. Y'all say he was smaller, weight and size. Okay? Now, one more time. I know y'all like, this bitch got too many stories. One more time. Okay? I was going to middle school. Was this in high school? Was this Edison? I'm trying to remember. Anyway, there was a boy who played football, and he was like maybe six in height. The other one maybe was like about maybe 5 feet. Okay, one was Hispanic. The one who was tall was Hispanic, and everybody, he was like, the creme de la creme in our school. Everybody liked him. Okay, and so he used to punk this brother. African American brother. He used to punk him all the time. And the guy was like 5 feet. But he was like, stocky. Okay? So he slammed him against the wall and then lifted him up in front of everybody. Okay? So he was embarrassed. And he put in his mind, like, one day I'm going to get him. One day I'm going to get him. Right? He was a friend in my group. All of us was like, bad little kids always hung together. Okay? Bad kids always hang together. Yes, Take Heed was a bad child. Used to always hang together. Okay? So now he was telling us one day I'm going to get him. So we all was like, we going to get him together. He said, no. I want to do it. I want to get him. Okay? So now we all, after lunch, he walked up to him. And he began to wail on that ass. Do you hear me? He began to wail on that ass. The guy was big, but he chopped him down. Then got him down to the ground. And I don't know how he executed this thing, but it was amazing to me. Okay? He chopped this one down who was 6'1". Okay? 6'1" or 6 feet. He chopped this guy down and he was only 5 feet. Okay? So I don't want to hear because somebody is bigger or they're slimmer that they can't get down. Because somebody slim can move. You hear me? One thing when I was growing up, my stepfather told me you got to dance around. That's how you get big people out of breath. And I was like, I was not too big. I was not too small. But my stepfather used to tell me you got to bounce around. And as you bounce around, you got to hit them. And hit them with all your might as you bounce. That's how we were taught growing up. See, y'all taught differently. You stand in one spot. Somebody can hit you, knock you the hell out, stand in one spot, and fight. No, you got to dance with them. You supposed to dance with them. That's how I was taught. Okay? And regardless if those two twins jumped on this boy, all he needed to do was get the smaller one and break them down. Now, take heed to the message does not support violence. I do not support violence. Take heed to the message. Does not support violence. Okay? I don't support violence. What I'm saying is, there's a cause and effect to everything that you do. You know that these two boys are bullies. Why are you there? Why do you have a pocket watch, a pocket knife in your bag? Do you understand? This is what the prosecution will be asking. Why did you go? Why were you there? Even though it was the school tent, don't get me wrong, it was the school tent. But why were you there? I have been in parts of the school where, okay, my enemies is in the west wing of Elizabeth High School. Oh, they on the west side. I don't go over there. What am I going over there for? I ain't got no classes and none of that shit. Why am I over there? I'm not going over there. I'm supposed to be in the north and south wing. I'm not going over there to the east. What the hell's over there for the east? Then so that I can run into them or something like that? This is the uncomfortable truth. If the boy wanted get back, okay, he wanted get back, there could have been another way he could have handled this thing, not with a pocket knife. And I know some of y'all like, oh, well, he did say, don't touch me no more, don't touch me no more. That doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean anything, because don't touch me no more mean you could get these hands. You could get these hands. You could get these hands. That's what it could mean too. Furious for the $5 super chat. He shouldn't have been in the tent. Should not had no knife. Now I believe you, Furious. This is correct. Even though the tent belonged to the school. When you see danger, you see nonsense, why do you continue to go? One thing about when I was growing up and going to Elizabeth High School, there'd be a fight. Somebody might have had a piece be still. One of their friends brought it to the school. And you hear, ba-bow, ba-bow. Take heed was going the other way. I wasn't going towards the ba-bow, ba-bow. I was not. I was going the other way. I'm getting home. I'm getting home. That's not, I'm not supposed to, you're not supposed to walk into danger. And the sad part is, it sounded like the boy couldn't tell nobody. It sounded like he couldn't tell his mama and his daddy. And I'm going to share something with you. A lot of y'all believe that he was raised by a single mother. He wasn't. His father was in his home. Okay? He was raised by his daddy. A lot of y'all getting in here talking about, oh, you know, ever since they had accepted Section 8 in that area, that's why you see more black people. Let me share something with you. That house that they live in, Section 8 ain't by that damn house. Section 8 ain't by that damn house. That family worked hard. I know what a Section 8 house look like. Section 8 ain't by that house, okay? Now, maybe an apartment, yes, but not that house, okay? Section 8 houses don't look like that. Just because you see a black family in a prominent neighborhood, that doesn't mean, oh, they got Section 8. They got Section 8. Some of y'all thought that shit was funny. No, that doesn't mean it. Y'all believe he came from a poor family. His problem was he didn't tell nobody. That's his problem. Now, those boys could have probably been bullying him before. Beforehand, they probably was messing with him. Okay? And he wanted to deal with them in a certain type of way, but that's not the answer. This is the time when you need guidance from your daddy and your mama to tell you how to handle the situation. But sometimes these young boys think they can do everything on their own. And then when the dust settles, all hell done broke loose. I'm just saying. He came from a good family, y'all. He came from a well-to-do family. He wasn't no hood bottom or none of this nonsense. He came from a good family. The problem is that he didn't tell nobody that this stuff was going on. He didn't tell nobody, because this is when the mama and daddy supposed to be at the school talking to somebody. Y'all get in here and y'all spinning all this stuff talking about, oh, he came from a bad family, his mama raised him. No. And so now the town where the family live at, they sending messages to the family. They putting pictures of black dolls with knives in the head and all this foolishness. It's so evil. It's so evil. Y'all have made this a color war. And this is not what it is. This is two boys that were fighting and it went left. That's what it is. Because this is what boys do. They fight. No matter what color they are, they fight. This is what they do. Because one think that he dominant over the other. A boy's life and a man's life is so hard, because I'm going to share with you why. When a boy get a certain age, they begin to challenge the king. You hear me? When a boy get a certain age, they begin to challenge the king. Black, white, Hispanic, no matter what color the child is. Let's act like we understand that. Let's act like it. Every boy child get up there and they try to fight their daddy. And their daddy got to hit them with a two-piece combination. Bow, bow, you know better. Got to give them some act right. Every man had to go through this walk with their son. Even Caucasian men too. Every man had to walk through this with their son. Sometimes the son, and sometimes it might not even be an argument. What'll happen is him and the son will wrestle. You know, just playing. They wrestle. Okay, just a little wrestle. Okay? The boy get a little bit trying to get tight with the daddy. I know some of y'all brothers, some of y'all Caucasian brothers as well have experienced this. The boy get a little tight with the daddy, like think he gonna take the daddy down. Then the daddy gotta lock arms on him and let him know, like, listen, I made you, okay? I made you, okay? And then they be like, daddy, it's too tight. No, I gotta let you know. I gotta let you know who's king. I gotta let you know. You think somebody playing with you. Why is Take saying this? Why is Take saying, I have seen it. Two boys, I have seen it. I have seen it. Even the one that's 14, because my husband he's taller, he towers over his daddy. So he think he could do something with his father. I saw them wrestle one time, and my husband locked them in. And I told my son, you ain't getting out of that. He said, Ma. I said, because you want to challenge your daddy. You want to challenge your daddy. He said, Daddy, I'm only playing. Said, no, you think because I'm older that you could do something with me. My husband locked him in, baby. He was walking around the living room with him, like locked him in on the arm and everything. The boy was like bent over trying to breathe. My husband was up there drinking that Corona and stuff. It was so funny. He was like, Mama, wait, Mama. I was like, I just looked at him. My husband got in the kitchen. He brought him all the way to the refrigerator, still was drinking that thing. He said, you ready for me to let you loose? He said, Daddy, wait. And my husband said, wait a minute, let me finish drinking this real quick. He started drinking it all. I'm looking at my husband. I'm laughing and stuff. Every father has to go through that. No matter what color, okay? No matter what color the father is. He always get challenged by the son because the son think that he can be king. And so the father had to teach him, no, you can't be king yet. I'm still here. Okay? I'm still here, damn it. So this happens even when they are boys, that they get in there and they wrestle and they lay hands on each other. This is why I tell you, and I said it in the beginning of the show, a boy's life and a man's life is not easy. It is not easy. Either you rise to the challenge or you fall. And that's sad to say, but it's true. Do you think a lot of men, when they see their sons rise up against them, you think they really want to lay hands on their child? Do you think they really want to lay hands on their child because they see themselves in their child? So now the child trying to play with them and maybe swing a little bit too hard, and then the daddy already know what he trying to do. So now the daddy got to teach him, wait a minute. Mind you, it was only just a little bit of wrestling. It just was a little wrestle. They was wrestling. Okay? But you got the little lion, okay, trying to get a little tough. Because, you know, my daddy in his 60s, you know. My daddy, you know, my daddy in his 50s, he can't really do nothing. You know what I'm saying? And then the daddy just lock in on him. Boom. I fell out. When I saw my husband do that thing, I had fell out. I laughed so hard, I almost fell out this chair. My king said, wait a minute, don't fall, because I'm not gonna pick your ass up. Don't fall. Okay? I laughed so hard, he was drinking this Corona, locked this boy in. And the boy big. The boy big. Locked this boy in and was walking around the house with this boy. Walked all the way to the kitchen. Okay? By the refrigerator, still drinking a Corona, and I'm looking at him, my king winking his eye at me and stuff, and the boy sitting there, Ma, I said, well, nobody told you. Nobody told you, damn it. Because my husband is a short man. You trying to think you could do something with him. I know you know he made you, right? You know he made you, right? Okay? And he said, Ma, I ain't gonna, after my husband let him go, he said, Mama, I ain't gonna never do that again, Mama. I ain't gonna. I say, yeah, I know you're not. I know you're not. At the end of the day, these are two young men that the life is gone. One is going to prison for God knows how long. The other one is going 6 feet under. And regardless about how you feel about white folks, regardless of how you feel, a mother has lost her baby. Regardless of how you feel, a mother has lost her baby. Twin boys, she lost one. Regardless of how you feel, you said these boys was bullies and this and that. All those boys needed was an ass whooping. They did not need to be sent to glory. One did not need to be sent to glory. All they needed was an ass whooping. That's what bullies need. They need an ass whooping. It's not sent to glory. It's supposed to be a lesson that they live to tell it the next day. That's what it's supposed to be, not somebody being sent to glory. So my family, my melanated family, any of y'all who think that this boy was supposed to be sent to glory, baby, you got to unfollow me, baby. You hear me? I'm a mother of 5, damn it. You got to unfollow me, because when I heard this story, it broke my heart. You got to unfollow me. Because there's no way Take Heed will get up here and justify a child being sent to glory. No matter what color they are, it's not right. This woman laid up, God knows how long she laid up and for hours in labor with a baby, and she gave birth to 2 twins, and one is being sent to glory. That's not right. Now you have my sister over here. My sister over here, who is her oldest child, this boy done sucked on her breast, the oldest child she got, that she gonna have to see this baby behind bars. Don't know what's gonna happen to this boy when he get in prison. having sleepless nights worried about this boy being hurt, somebody jumping on him, somebody shaking him. She got to worry about that. Both mothers is in trouble. Both mothers is in trouble. So do I think this is a payback situation? Hell no, this is not. This is about two boys who made the wrong decision. Two boys. Because the tent belonged to the school. You don't have the right to tell anybody to get from under the tent. The tent belonged to the school. You have no right to tell anybody to get out of here. You don't belong here. The tent belonged to the school. Also, for the melanated child, you already know, and everybody in that school know those two boys is bullies. Why were you there? Sometimes we have to tell our children, stay out of Dodge. Sometimes you got to tell your children, stay out of harm's way. Got to talk to these babies. But we want to get up here and justify the deletion of another child. Because if we talking about children, and we just saying children, we not adding a color or anything, this shit is wrong. If we want to talk about not even color, if we just look at it, these are two children, teenage boys. Teenage boys. Do you understand what I'm saying? Two teenage boys. That's what I'm saying. So when people get in here and say he didn't, and I want to say this because the tent still belonged to the school, no matter what. You can't erase anything from that. The tent belonged to the school. Both of these children, what? You have no right to tell anybody that. You have no right. But did it have to lead to death? Did this have to lead to death? This did not have to lead to death. It did not. I know y'all want to get out here and y'all want to argue about this thing and y'all want to get upset and everything and y'all want to put color into this thing, and a lot of things have happened to our children over the years, and I understand that, baby. I have grieved with you all. I understand a lot of things have happened to our children, but this is not a race card issue. It's not. This is not. This is two boys fighting and it went left. That's what it is. And women who have young children, women who have, we have been through this before. Your child have been bullied before. You know the stuff you have been through. See, only people who have parents, only people who have children, they understand what's going on here. See, some of y'all don't have kids, so you believe that everything was justified. It was not. See, when your child is being bullied, you're supposed to go to the school. You're supposed to get a seat with the teacher, the principal, the guidance counselor. Now, if your child continues to be bullied, you go to the Board of Education. Okay? Now, the board, okay, can throw the other child out for bullying because they have laws against bullying. They could kick the child out of the school. And because, and this is the thing, when you don't go through the process, you don't know what happens. But that's the best way to stand up for your child, is to go through the process. Now, after all has failed, like say you went through the process, ain't nothing happened. The school ain't do nothing. This is when you take your child to some karate classes, get this child in some football or something, get this child to learn how to defend themselves. Because all else have failed. And now, when anybody come against your child for no reason, then your child can lay waste without deleting somebody. Take heed to the message does not support violence. I don't support violence. But that's the gospel truth. That's the gospel truth. That's what's supposed to happen. Thank you to everybody who donated to the channel. I greatly appreciate y'all. All right. But now we're going to go into the first video. Okay. Now, I know this is going to hurt some people's feelings. And it is what it is. Okay. But before we do that, let me go to the donations first. I appreciate y'all for taking time to donate to the channel. I know that this is heavy, okay? But the theme song for the Cash Apps and the Super Chats will be this song right here. Here we go. I had been under the pain. They were wild, they were free. They were blessed with my name. And then I grew older, and I saw what's to see. But the world is full of pain, and my dreams, they left me. And I got stronger, and so tired of the pain. That's when I ripped to the pieces, and I regained my name. And I fought hard, all by my brain. And right now you look at me, and it all seems in vain. Your dreams ain't easy, you just stick by your way. To go from boy to man. Act like a man. Go from boys to men. You must act like a man. It's hard, y'all. Do you hear what I'm saying? It's hard to be a boy. It's hard to be a man. It's hard. And a lot of y'all don't understand that. This is why some of y'all come with this foolish logic that what happened is right. Because it's some get back. That's what you believe. Tracy, that's for you, baby. Thank you for the $9.99 super chat. And for the $4.99 super chat, I appreciate you, baby. Let me see who that was. Furious, thank you, baby. I appreciate you for the $4.99. And this is the theme song for this show today. Here we go, one more time. I had been under the pain. They were wild, they were free. They were blessed with my name. And then I grew older, and I saw what's to see. But the world is full of pain, and my dreams, they left me. And I got stronger, and so tired of the pain. That's when I ripped to the pieces, and I regained my name. And I fought hard, all by my brain. And right now you look at me, and it all seems in vain. Your dreams ain't easy, you just stick by your way. To go from boy to man, you act like a man. When it gets hard, grab what you know. He said you must grab what you know. Okay? Now let's get into the foolery. We're going to get into the rest of other brothers that's coming to social media and they don't agree. They don't agree. So they have called people like me house ninjas, bed winches, and all this other stuff that people are paying black people like me to speak truth to power. Okay? So I gotta put this brother in here first. Okay? I gotta put this brother in here first, and then we're gonna put some other brothers, we're gonna bring them to the forefront as well. Okay? So this is the first brother that's in here. Okay? It says racists are furious over over the let me see, the is it the Go Me Fund? They're upset over the Go Me Fund. Okay. Now this brother channel is called The Amazing Lucas. Now I know y'all heard him before. Okay, he has a lot of followers. So here we go. We're gonna go straight into it.
Are big man. Oh my goodness. So what we are witnessing right now is the coon force, because the coon force is out in full force right now. And for those of you who may not be aware, the coon force is nothing more than a bunch of mediocre, subpar black individuals that go out of their way to defend white people. They've been hired by white people, and so their prime objective is to defend white people at all costs.
So I want y'all to understand this. We gonna get both parts, okay? But this is what this brother believes right here. And I'm not gonna get up here and clown this man at all. This is what this brother believes. So his show is called The Amazing Lucas, okay? And we gonna get into it, all right? We gonna get into it because we gotta hear both sides. You hear me? Even though it hurts, we gotta hear both sides, okay? Because the content creators that I'm gonna play today, I don't agree with none of them. I don't agree with none of them. And Officer Tatum is in here too. And y'all know I like Officer Tatum, but I don't agree with none of what they saying. Let's continue. Here we go.
Stories like Karmelo Anthony, this is where they make their money. This is how they make their living. And regardless of what the context is of the story, their primary focus, like I said, is to defend white people. So they will belittle, they will, castigate, they will deride, they will, do anything in their power to frame the black person, whether they're a victim or not, as the bad person. They are the bad guy. And that's what we're witnessing right now.
And let me tell you something, black people, you have a serious lack of accountability culture.
Yeah, it's something wrong with the black community.
And it's a race war underneath the surface of our country, mostly projected by black people.
You are a fucking idiot.
So amid Karmelo Anthony raising, I believe right now it's almost over 200K. So kudos to him. If you haven't supported his Go Send Me, I would definitely check that out. They are now screaming and crying about, you guessed it, black people. that's what they're doing. It's a playbook as old as time. It very much goes back to mandatory manumission, where they reward black people for snitching on possible rebellions and revolts and individuals who wanted freedom.
Wake up, nigga.
This now is a business, and it's a business that is highly promoted from the right. We see such individuals as Kundis Owens, Brandon Tantrum, Rob Bushy Smith, and the rest of them. And I find it very interesting, the stuff that they're saying. First and foremost, you have Brandon Tantrum. Now, the reason why we call him Tantrum is that the veneer of his, I'm one of the good ones, happened to fall apart when Hotep Jesus, pushed some buttons. And then all of a sudden, the ignorant came out.
I'm gone, man.
So I want to stop right there before we hear Officer Tatum go off, okay? Because Hotep invited him to a stream, okay? And he put Hotep on, okay? This is alleged, all alleged. He put him on into the YouTube space. And so why Tatum snapped was because I put you on. How you going to turn on me? So it was a aha Negro moment, okay? And everybody is entitled to having an aha Negro moment, because I have them a lot, okay? I have them a lot. I get in here and I get indignant. Y'all know some of y'all get in here and be like, take heed, wait a minute now. You're going too hard. You're going too far. You're going too far, okay? Yes, Shay, that's what they just said, honey. That's what they said. So let's continue. Here we go.
The fakest nigga I ever seen in my life.
Created the crime bill.
I see you in person.
Created the crime bill.
What you said?
They created the crime bill.
I'm done, bro. You a fake nigga. I appreciate it. Fake, bro. I'm gonna expose you to everybody. When I see you, nigga, we gonna be. It's gonna be on. I want you to know that. Because you call me on the phone and you saying all this, and then you get on the live stream and you playing this shit. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Is that black on black crime? Is that black on black crime?
You's a bitch.
Now, I want to also tell you, they friends. These two brothers that's in here arguing, Tatum and Hotep, they're friends. They talk to each other. Private call. He got him on the line with some other people on the panel, and he called himself Dog Walking Tatum. So, of course, if you thought this person was your friend, and then y'all get on a live stream and he start dog walking you, of course you're going to get, you're going to get indignant, okay? That's anybody. You're going to get indignant. Now, will I say that Tatum should not have done that? He should not. He should not. You got to always have your guard up. People, they get jealous of you for the stupidest shit. You got to always have your guard up. That's why you got to be careful of whose streams you go to. Okay, I learned that. But it took me a minute to learn it, but I learned it now. Okay, so now let's continue. Here we go.
I told you. Everybody on your live stream know you's a bitch, and when I see you, I'm whooping your ass. Everybody got it on live stream. I like it. You want to be hood, nigga? You want to be hood? You on the phone talking shit to me, and you call me and say you apologize?
Boy, that escalated quickly.
Now, that being said, he comes out and says, what's going on with black people? Why are they supporting this guy? He's going to be found guilty, yada, 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 yada.
Let me show you very clearly why I think this is a problem and why this is a racial issue.
Issue that I find, because it's always funny when, an officer of 6 years try to give his full understanding of the law, because most officers don't understand the law. They understand how to utilize the law to arrest you. That's the extent of their law. But when it comes down to it, his presumption of his whole display is based off of the belief that he believes that Anthony stabbed this person in the heart intentionally.
If you didn't intend to kill the guy, but you should know that stabbing somebody in the heart could cause serious damage, serious bodily injury to that person, and is clearly negligent and is dangerous to human life.
There's no data, there's no evidence, there's no facts and evidence, as I say, that leads to that conclusion aside from black person bad, right? That's all there is. That's what they run off. We've seen this time and time again. When it comes to Breonna Taylor, he's trying to do the same thing. When it comes to George Floyd, he's trying to do the same thing. When it comes to a litany of people, okay, Trayvon Martin, the list goes on, unfortunately. This is what they do.
I miss you like a hog miss fly.
Now, I will say, the only thing that I see that they may get him on is with the knife. From what I've read, it's been a pocket knife, and a pocket knife is legal under state.
So, this is the problem that I always have with a lot of melanated content creators, is that we bypass that, somebody got deleted. We trying to articulate it, but we bypass that a baby got sent to glory, because these are not grown people. These are children. Okay? Now, it's different when they're grown. Okay? It's different when they're grown. It's still bad, but it's different when they're grown. But they're children. So we don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of what color the child is. We don't give a damn. Like, if you see, a baby, no matter what color the baby is, baby could be white in the street. You see a white baby in the street. You don't just say, oh, let the white baby fend for itself. No, you don't do that. You go grab the baby, call Popo, say somebody done dropped the baby. You know what I'm saying? You see a Caucasian baby in the street. You see this, you pick the baby up. You call Popo. You see a melanated baby in the street. You pick the baby up, you call Popo. These are children. They're children. You understand? Now, I know we don't give a damn about men. I know we don't give two shits about men. Okay? We don't. We don't give two shits about men, no matter what color they are. Okay? They can all just, go away. Nobody cares. But there's some women, okay? Some women who care about men, no matter what color they are. Okay? This is not the time to act like we don't give a damn. These are children. No matter what color they are, this shit was not right. I just wanted to put that in here, but let's let this brother continue to cook. Yes, here we go.
Texas code, but in school grounds, it's illegal. So they may get him on that. But he can be found guilty of the, I think it's like a misdemeanor for the pocket knife and being found innocent of manslaughter and murder. Tantrum is trying to do is say that, hey, he's guilty of all the above because he finds him guilty on murder or manslaughter. Now, this is all based off of this not being a self-defense. If they find him that he was actually defending himself, which is what a family member has said, that there's video evidence suggesting that, right? Once again, I want you to understand, he's just spitting off the top of his head from a perspective that black person bad. That's all he's doing.
Even if, let's talk about it. Even if he was defending himself, right? Okay, because we want to understand that. Even if he was defending himself, why the pocket knife though? You know what I'm saying? Why bring the pocket knife to school? You know what I'm saying? Even if you were defending yourself. Because even me growing up, you couldn't bring weapons to school. You couldn't. You couldn't bring weapons to school. They didn't allow it. Even when we had track meets and stuff like that, you were not allowed to bring weapons into the school or school grounds. And I'm quite sure they give the rules to the family, because over here in South Jersey, they give the rules to the family of what they allow in the school and what they don't allow. So nobody will get in here and tell me that nobody told them that you're not supposed to bring stuff like that to the school. They even have, at the beginning of the school year, they have an assembly. The principal walk around and talk shit to the children, what they not going to allow and what they're going to allow at the school. Okay? All these principals do this mess. If they don't do an assembly, they get on a loudspeaker and tell these kids what they will allow and what they won't allow. But let's continue. Here we go.
To appease his white racist audience, the white ignorance that is his audience base. So what we have to wait for, once again, is the facts and evidence. And the facts and evidence is suggesting that this seems to be a self-defense case. Because it wasn't gratuitous, he wasn't, shanking the person. It was one stab wound from what I've heard. Okay, what I've read thus far, one stab wound, and it just so happened to be that the kid is no longer with us.
It has nothing to do with his skin color.
This now leads us to the next one.
And you see how he just ran over there like, oh, it just happens to be the kid is no longer with us. Like, this is, you know what I'm saying? And this come from people, most of the time people who feel like this, most of y'all don't have kids. You don't know what it's like to have babies. You know what I'm saying? So you're not a nurturer. You don't know what it is to have children walking around you and stuff like that. So you can't imagine not having your own child walking around. So we not supposed to feel remorse for this Caucasian family, mother and father, who lost one of their children. This is stupid. This is stupid. No. Just like when Trayvon Martin passed away, may his soul rest in peace. My heart broke for that boy and his family because of some stupid person who thought that Skittles and a Long Island iced tea, what's those iced teas that was 99 cents? Those cans that, you thought it was something. How dumb. You know what I'm saying? How dumb. You can't just skim past that. Somebody got sent to glory. Let's continue. Here we go.
Rob Bushy Smith. The reason why we call him Rob Bushy Smith is that he was kicked out of the Republican Party due to him being a homosexual.
So the neo-Nazis and the white supremacists wanted me out of the Republican Party, and guess what? I'm out.
But at the end of the day, he has to get a check, right? He has rent due, just like everyone.
That doesn't sound right. So because you are from the rainbow community, they had thrown you out. There are a lot of people who are from the rainbow community that are Republican. That's stupid. I don't know how they put that together. There are a lot of people that are in the rainbow community that is Democrat too and independent. That's dumb. Now that's dumb. I don't know why would you come out and say that. That's stupid. I'm just saying. Okay? I'm just saying. Shay, that's right. Arizona Tea. Thank you, Shay. That's dumb. Okay? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? All these parties got the rainbow community in here. That's stupid. But let's continue. Here we go.
The only difference is he's prostituting his skin color as a shield for racist beliefs of the people who, I don't know, the five people who still follow him. Damn. But he goes on to talk about accountability. He can't believe the black people, yada, yada, yada.
There is a GoFundMe that has been set up for Karmelo Anthony, who's a 17-year-old black kid that killed the 17-year-old white kid. And let me tell you something, black people, you have a serious lack of accountability culture, because only a people that have zero accountability would literally take money out of their own pockets to set up a GoFundMe and to send money to a young man that killed another man.
Now, I find this hysterical, them bringing up accountability when we have January 6th. We have white people who are abusing officers, violating officers, urinating on the floor, defecating on the walls, a litany of just degenerate behavior, and there's no accountability for that. For us, all we're concerned, it wasn't an insurrection, it was nothing more than a tourist attraction. So, but once again, that's a privilege they're allowed to have. Black people always have to be held accountable. There's never a point in time in the history of this country where black people haven't been held accountable. That doesn't exist. Damn. So I find it a bit, I find it ironic that you're talking about accountability for black people. But they're upset that black people are defending black people. They're upset that black people are actually supporting black people. That's what they don't want. Because what all these, these coons do is that they want division.
And so when they get in here and call you a coon because you don't agree with something that looks crazy, you're a coon. Okay? You looking at how everything played out and you have put in your mind that this does not sound right. You're a coon. Okay? A lot of black people act like this, okay? A lot of us act like this. Okay? But y'all got to understand this. Okay? Because we always say black people are not a monolith, right? Am I saying that correctly? We always say black people are not a monolith, right? Caucasian people, okay, white people are not a monolith either. They're not. All of them don't agree with foolery that happens in their community. Just like all of us don't agree nonsense that happen in our community. Okay? If you look at this whole situation, the shit sound crazy. This all could have been avoided. It all could have been avoided. It sounds crazy. I cannot get in here and be like, oh, it's good that this boy lost his life. Can you imagine? And I'm a mama. I can't get in here and be like, oh, that's good the boy lost his life. How? Yahweh blessed me with fruit of the womb. How can I be like, yeah, that's good? You know what I'm saying? Something happened to my baby, and I'm talking about somebody else's child that passed away, and I'm talking, yeah, that's good. No mama, I don't care what color she is. No mama will believe that this makes sense. No father would believe, okay? No father will believe that this makes sense. This does not make sense. It doesn't. You can't get up here and say, oh, under the disguise of color, oh, we getting some get back because black people out here, we just getting some payback. And I'm going to share something with you. The Caucasian people that y'all see today, this is nasty what I'm about to say. This is nasty what I'm about to say. The Caucasian people that you see today, they didn't do the horrible things to our ancestors. They didn't do these horrible things to our ancestors. I know y'all want to get some of y'all think that this is get back, but it is not. This is an incident that happened between two 17-year-olds and the shit went left. This should not be get back. Who think that this is get back? You have two mothers who lost their son. Two mothers who lost their babies. They breastfed these boys. Two mothers who lost. I'm looking at the mamas. Two women who breastfed their babies, changed their diapers, washed them, took them to the doctor, loved them, hugged them, kissed them, prayed over them. You don't think that white mama prayed over her sons? You don't think that white mama prayed over her sons? You don't think that black mama prayed over her sons, her children? You don't think she prayed over them? You don't think she prayed before they left the house? Yahweh protect them. You don't think that white mama prayed over her babies? Yahweh protect them. Nobody want anything to happen to their baby. When you send your baby off to a track meet, a show or something, you don't think no shit gonna happen to your baby. You praying the baby get to school safely and the child get back home. That's what you praying for. You're not praying that your child get into some foolery and then you get a call talking about the baby done been sent to glory. No mama prays for that. I don't care what color the mama is. Nobody prays for that shit. And because some of y'all don't have babies, yeah, I said it, I know it's nasty. Some of y'all don't have babies. You don't know what it's like to hold your own. You don't know what it's like to hold your own child. You don't know what it's like when they tell you got to go down there and identify the body of your baby. You don't know what it's like. So that's why y'all getting in here thinking that shit, oh, we getting some get back. Kiss my ass. Kiss my ass. From left to right, kiss my ass. Because y'all don't know what it's like to have a child come to this world and you done breastfed this baby. Done changed the diapers and everything. And now you got to put this baby in the ground. And the other mama got to see her baby behind bars. Can you imagine the nonsense that the family is going through? Both families. One family will probably have to move out of that town because they're already threatening the family and everything. They're going to have to sell that house and move out of that town because it won't be safe for them no more. And now the other mama got to be praying on her knees to try to get over the pain. And you can never tell a mama she got to get over the pain that her baby have been sent to glory. Only thing they can do is console the mama. The daddy is trying to be strong. That's why the daddy came out and said, I forgive. And a lot of people calling him weak. Oh, he weak to say that. What do you mean he weak? This man has lost his child. What do you mean he weak? Do you know what it is to say he forgives somebody, damn it? Do you know what it is to say you forgive somebody for taking your child? And y'all called him weak. If that's the way he feel that he forgive that boy, that's all right. Let's continue. Here we go.
That's what you have to understand. When it comes to, oh, they not a black American, they African. All that stems from division. That is a tactic of racists. That's what it is. If you look, since we got here, that's always been a tactic to divide and conquer. That's what they were allowed, and that's what they promoted. And so if we can divide amongst ourselves, their job is done. That's easy for them. So all these, the coon force does is try to divide black people. They try and bootlift for white people because those are the ones who are giving them the money. And they're in a position to give them the money. You have to forego all integrity to have such a position. And it goes back to the scripture where it says, the love of money is the root of all evil. And we see this. We then go into the coon twins, right? And they talk about, I don't know what's wrong with black people, blah, blah, blah. It's always, they don't know what's wrong with black people. That's the funny part. It's always, I don't know what's going on with black people this, black people that. They'll never speak this way of white people.
I miss you like a hog miss fly, like a baby miss mama titty.
And I want people to understand that this is exclusive to black people because it stems from slavery. It just is what it is. A lot of these people want to take slavery happened in the past. Yeah, sure. So did the Holocaust, but you would never say that to them.
He's out of line, but he's right.
But a lot of these people from slavery, they had children. Like I say, the lineage of evil. You have this slave master mentality that these people have. So they have done the same thing that their slave masters did. They employed, the coons of the black populace to do their dirty work. And what that does is allows for racists to not be seen as racist because now they have a black face. And that's what they're doing. They're utilizing them for their black skin, nothing more and nothing less, because half of these people are extremely unintelligent, extremely low IQs, that if they were to have the same beliefs but be on the liberal side, they would call them every name in the book. But because they are utilizing their skin color for their financial gain or for their political gain and their empowerment, white people's empowerment, they're good. They're one of the good ones. They're a free thinker.
Wake up, nigga.
And they use their skin color as a shield. Because if you have these black people who are saying all this anti-black stuff, you now get to offload any type of guilt or any type of accusation onto them. It's like, I'm not saying it. The black person's saying it. I'm just repeating what the black person is saying. So, I just think that I agree with them. And that's the hustle. That is the business of the Republican Party. That is the business that many of these coons, that's what they live. That's how they live. It's not really the best lifestyle, but it does come with its benefits. Nevertheless, I find it also interesting when it comes to them being upset that black people supporting themselves. And here's the thing. I don't know why you would be so upset. If you think he's guilty, then what does it matter? What does it matter what I do with my money? If I want to support him, then I should be able to support him. But they never do this for anyone else who is not black. They never do this. Kyle Rittenhouse was a hero. Even though he did everything wrong under the book, right? He disobeyed his mother. He comes from a single-parent household. That never came up. He was abusive to other women, when we had on camera. He had violent tendencies, as we had on camera, talking about possibly assaulting people that he believed was shoplifting. Litany of things, but he's a national hero. Right? We had this with Ashley Babbitt. Did everything wrong, but she's a hero, okay? She's a patriot. So you just have to understand, racism can come from a black face. Anti-black racism definitely can come from a black face, and that's how they get away with it, and especially in present day. You have plausible deniability, and that's what they build their empire on top of. The only problem is when black people fight back. When black people stop playing games and we fight back and we get our head, in the game, then you lose. That's what happens. You lose. Now, when it comes to the trial, I'll be paying attention to the trial. I'll be giving updates to the trial. It very much depends on the evidence they have, the video, how it represents the jury, and how convincing their arguments are, how compelling their arguments are. That's what it boils down to. It's really all acting. For the most part, it's acting, but within the confines of the law. Anyways, guys, that's a video. Let me know what you guys think. I'm sure there's those who disagree and have detracting opinions. Move it.
And so, once again, this brother channel is The Amazing Lucas, okay? So we're going to get straight to Officer Tatum. So this is two avenues we're going to go down, okay? And I want to share something with you. Take heed, doesn't agree with either brother, okay? Now, these are both of my brothers, but I don't agree with either one of them, okay? I don't. So Officer Tatum is up next, okay? Officer Tatum is up next. And also, we got to play Charleston White too, y'all. So we're going to go past our time just a little bit this morning, okay? Because we want to make sure we get all this foolery out of here, okay? So Officer Tatum is up next. And y'all know it's a commercial first. My thing is to not make you, I'm not here to change your mind. You're going to think whatever you want to think, okay? But I'm here to tell you, look at this with an open heart and an open mind, okay? I need you to understand this part, because if this was a white on white or a black on black, we would say that this is a horrible situation. We would get in here and say this is horrible. Okay? You understand what I'm saying? We would get in here. If this was a white on white, we would say this is a horrible situation. If it was black on black, we would say this is a horrible situation. But because the race card has jumped into play, we ready to get out here and start talking about slavery and Sambo and we get in here and talk about coons and all this foolery. But at the end of the day, this situation is two 17-year-olds that their life is gone. One is going under the ground, the other one is going into a jail cell. Both of their lives are gone. You don't know how the jury will get in here and put this boy away for a situation that could have been avoided. It could have been avoided. Because if these two, like y'all claim, like the social media claim, that these two Caucasian boys, these two white boys were bullies, all this could have been handled in the school. All this could have been handled in the school. They do not take kindly to bullying. I don't care what school the child goes to. You could take it all the way up to the state. Now, if nothing doesn't happen, parents need to get involved. If nothing can change from that, take that boy to get him some karate lessons. Take that boy to get him on some football or something. And let him begin to pray and lay hands. That's it. That's all you can do. Matter of fact, during the process of you tolling the school, you get that boy in some karate. You get that girl into some karate. You get them into something that protects them. I'm not here condoning any foolery. I don't agree with these brothers y'all gonna hear today, because the thing is, when it's your child, when it's your baby, you don't want to hear stuff like this. And because y'all can't look through the eyes of these two women, you don't see what I see. You don't see what I see. It's wrong. It's wrong. Let's continue. Here we go.
Human being in the United States of America that deserves presumption of innocence right now today, it has to be Karmelo Anthony.
For them to raise $150,000 for this kid is insane to me. And what it speaks to, in my opinion, is the racism that's involved in this. Because if that young black boy would have...
Shay, it's okay. Leave him. It's okay. It's okay, Shay. Leave him. I got to stop the show for real quick. So this man, you see, is always, there's always these arrogant ones that get in here. He says, lady, if you will wash your hair on a regular basis, you wouldn't have to cover it up with your big old rags. Now, check this out. Because you have never watched my show before, I have shown my natural hair. And of course, I wash my hair. Now, from the picture that I see you, you are not, you're not my complexion. Okay. So the difference is that I can wash my hair every day and it doesn't, I can, matter of fact, you know what the difference is? I can not wash my hair. Just moisturize it and it smell good. That's the difference between me and you, sir. That's the difference. I see from the picture, that's the difference. It look like you don't have any hair. So I suggest, this is grown folks conversation. You got to scroll up, baby. We don't do kindergarten and stuff over here. You got to scroll up, baby, okay? All right? We don't have children at this chat, okay? Let's continue. Here we go, y'all.
Black boy at the track meet, we wouldn't hear about it. There would be no GoFundMe. There would be no, oh, we need to stand with him. It's because he killed a white kid. And it's a race war underneath the surface of our country, mostly projected by black people.
Now you see what Tatum just said? Mostly projected by black people. It's a race war, but it's mostly projected by black people. Now you see that? I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. There's a lot of stuff that Tatum is about to drop, and I do not agree with that. Okay? Let's continue. Here we go.
Hey, y'all, we all know this, but I'm going to remind you. The American dream is under attack. Hardworking patriots like you are being crushed under mountains of debt, credit cards, personal loans, medical bills, and why? It's because creditors love debt. That's why they want you stuck in high interest traps. They want you drowning in collections and skyrocketing payments because when you're broke, you're controllable. But if you're like me, you're not the one to back down. So it's time to fight back. And that starts with PDS Debt. PDS Debt has customized options for anyone struggling with credit cards, personal loans, collections, or medical bills. They go beyond the numbers to understand your unique financial situation and provide alternative solutions to help you break free. No minimum credit score, just real help from a team that's rated A+ from the Better Business Bureau and hundreds of 5-star reviews on Google and Trustpilot. Why? Why do they have such success? Because PDS Debt has helped tens of thousands of people become debt free, and they can help you as well. Stop living in debt. Get your free assessment and find the best option for you right now at pdsdebt.com/Tatum. That's pdsdebt.com/Tatum. You're just 30 seconds away from taking your life back. One more time, pdsdebt.com/Tatum. That's pdsdebt.com/Tatum. The craziest thing that I've seen this week is them raising $150,000+ for a young man who killed another young man. The person who did the killing, people are feeling sorry for him and raising money for him.
So I just want to talk about this situation right here. There's people on Twitter and Facebook, everywhere, trying to get his GoFundMe reported, shut down, because we as a people don't feel as it's right what they're doing to this young black man right here. Keep advocating, keep doing y'all lives, keep reposting, and keep doing what y'all doing. This baby is gonna come home no matter what, and he's gonna have the best legal team to get him home safely as well. They trying to get this boy under the jail, destroying his reputation and everything, trying to make it seem like he a thug. This child is a 3.7 GPA student, has 21 football scholarships and everything. He had friends and family, all of that. This boy had something to lose. Learn to keep your hands to yourself and you on FAFO, period.
If there's any human being in the United States of America that deserves presumption of innocence right now today, it has to be Karmelo Anthony. Hands down. He was attacked. They were more of them than him. And his witnesses on their side.
And this is what they keep saying, that he was attacked. He was attacked. But another story says that he wasn't attacked. Nobody jumped him. All it is that the twin asked him to leave from under the tent. Now, the twin didn't have no right to tell him to leave. The tent belonged to the school, okay? But he told him to leave, okay? This is the gospel truth. This is what they said. And so the boy said, Anthony said, if you touch me, okay? And then what'd he do? He touched him. And so they begin. So if somebody say, if you touch me, that doesn't mean I'm going to pull out something and stab you. No, this could mean that I'm ready to wreck shop, okay? But y'all like, oh no, if somebody say, if you touch me. Do you know how many times me growing up, people had said to me, if you touch me. That didn't mean that they was going to pull out something and do something to me. That meant that I got in my mind, you about to fight me. You know what I'm saying? You about to fight me. So when did the lingo change? Did the lingo change? Okay? Did the fight lingo change? Because this is crazy. But anyway, let's continue. Because Officer Tatum is going off the rails. And I understand, but I don't agree. I don't agree. I can't agree with him. I can't, and I don't. But let's continue. Here we go.
The brother saying that happened. How's that a self-defense? All right. And then proportional use of force. It wasn't a multiple Pokemon. It was a singular Pokemon, and he ran.
It's two men, 200 or more pounds over you. Two of them come and mess with you, and you're trying to defend yourself. What are you going to do? You're going to do what Karmelo did. As of right now, the media is trying to do everything, and
you're not gonna do what Karmelo did. You're not gonna do what Anthony did. Don't and that's the thing y'all got going. Y'all spinning that, saying that they both jumped him, and the story said they both didn't jump him. Okay, so we got to get out here and get those facts together. You know what I'm saying? That's not the true story. That's not the true story. I agree about the tent thing. I don't agree about the tent thing. I wish that Anthony would have just went somewhere else. He ain't had to stay under the tent. I wish that would have happened, but it didn't. But the truth is the tent belonged to the school. So it shouldn't have mattered who was under the tent because it was raining. So if you're trying to take cover, of course, you want to be somewhere dry. It's still wrong, okay? Let's continue. Here we go.
To make him seem like he's an evil person. Y'all did not see this man repeatedly. That's my thoughts on this.
Let me show you very clearly why I think this is a problem and why this is a racial issue. If you don't know what I'm talking about the incident that happened at the track meet. Karmelo Anthony, with a K, decided that he was going to stab a kid in a conflict under a tent. There's a few things that we need to talk about here. One, I can legally almost represent this case and show you that Karmelo Anthony will be found guilty. It has nothing to do with his skin color as far as I'm concerned, because I do not care. I'm black and I got my family white. So I got black and white sides. I don't give a flying flip. What I care about is justice. What I care about what's right. What I care about is the law. And for them to raise $150,000 for this kid is insane to me. And what it speaks to, in my opinion, is the racism that's involved in this. Because if that young black boy would have killed another black boy at the track meet, we wouldn't hear about it. There would be no GoFundMe. There would be no, oh, we need to stand with him. It's because he killed a white kid. And it's a race war underneath the surface of our country, mostly projected by black people against white folks. So when a black kid do something wrong, black people rally around the kid that did something wrong because they don't want the white boy to be right. They don't want white people to be right. They don't want white people to be on television saying that this black kid is a thug. They don't care that the black kid, I think that some of them do care, but I think that they're avoiding the point that the black kid actually took the life of somebody unnecessarily. Let me give you a couple factors here, which will bolster the legal argument that I have. I do believe that Karmelo Anthony will be found guilty if he goes to court. I think he's going to do a plea deal.
We're going to see. But I'm going to share something with you. And I like what somebody put in here. I never saw them before. They said, is it video footage? It has to be. Because the school grounds usually have video. They usually have cameras. So it has to be some footage that they, you know what I'm saying? Even in the stadium, there's footage. So it has to be something on the school grounds. It could have been a camera in the corner that might have seen it. You know what I'm saying? Because all schools have cameras. Every corner, even college as well. Okay? Inside the school too. So it has to be something where they can still see where the track meet and all the other stuff. So it has to be camera somewhere. So when all that come out, we'll get the juice of everything. So this all right now is just speculation. We all just saying our piece. We don't know what's the true story and how it really happened. But if the little piece that we know so far, okay, this should not be a color thing. This is a right and wrong thing. Do you understand? This is a right and wrong thing. And I want y'all to understand something. Just because a child is a bully, that doesn't mean they're supposed to die. That doesn't mean they're supposed to die. Children are bullies. Children are the worstest truth that you could ever imagine. Y'all hear it. Y'all hear little kids. The mama be on a live stream and the mama be talking about how beautiful she is. And then the child walk in and say, "Mama, you ugly." Children say the worstest things in the world to you because they have no filter. Do you understand? They have no filter. Take heed to the message. Does not support violence. I don't support violence. Do you hear me? Got to say that. I don't support violence. But look at that. I want y'all to think about this. We shouldn't be in here happy a child has been sent to glory. That's not the answer. And even though Officer Tatum has his own views of everything and how he thinks things are going to play out, we don't know the full story. We don't understand everything that happened. There was witnesses there that will get in there and say this is what really happened. So we have to wait and see what's going to happen. I'm not saying that we should not show love to the melanated family. I'm not saying we shouldn't show love. We have to show love to the melanated family, but we also have to show love to the Caucasian family too. Both families need us both. They don't need a race war. Both families need our compassion. Both families need our love and understanding. Hey, King, how are you? Both families need us. It's not for us to be trying to pick sides. Both families have lost their son. One is going 6 feet under, the other one is going in a cell. This is horrible for both parents. Let's continue. Here we go.
Because he knows he's dead to rights. His attorneys know he's dead to rights. According to Texas State Penal Code, he will go to jail and be sentenced probably more harshly than he would if he do a plea deal. I think he's going to do a plea deal. And I think in the plea deal, they're going to give him manslaughter charges. And he's only going to do 5 or 8 years in prison, which is a travesty. If he goes to trial, this is how he loses, unequivocally. In the state of Texas, they charged him with first-degree murder. First-degree murder is when you murder somebody intentionally or knowingly causing the death of another person. That's subsection 1. Subsection 2 is intending to cause serious bodily injury and commit an act clearly dangerous to human life that results in somebody's death. They got him on the first statute because he knowingly and intentionally decided to poke the boy in the heart with a knife. The second statutory claim here, which they can get him on as well, is intending to cause serious bodily injury. If you didn't intend to kill the guy, but you should know that stabbing somebody in the heart could cause serious damage, serious bodily injury to that person, and is clearly negligent and is dangerous to human life. They got him again. Here's another one. Commit or attempt to commit a felony other than manslaughter, during which they perform an act clearly dangerous to human life that causes death. Let me add to how that's a problem. Because carrying a weapon on a school campus is a felony offense. No, it's a misdemeanor offense. Let's go down to the law, because I want y'all to see this very clearly. If you go down to Texas law, it says that it's a knife blade exception, right? If it's 55 inches or shorter, generally speaking, it can be used or be in a public place. However, there is restrictions as to where this can be presented. It says right here, let me go up a little bit. I'll go down here. It says violating these restrictions can lead to criminal charges with penalties varying based on specific circumstances and locations. For instance, carrying a local restricted knife is prohibited in areas generally considered a Class C misdemeanor. And these areas are obviously in sporting events, right? It says carrying a knife regardless of blade length. Here's the caveat here. Carrying a knife, any knife, regardless of blade length, at a school sporting function in Texas is generally prohibited unless you have an explicit authorization to do so. So not only was he already committing a crime by having a knife at a school sporting event, he knowingly and intentionally struck the kid. Whether he tried to kill him or not is still under the grounds of first degree murder, or they can clarify for second degree murder. So it's either one of the two that they're going to have him under. But here's where the defense is going to argue. The defense is going to argue that he was acting in self-defense. Now, here's where the self-defense claim falls apart. In the state of Texas, and probably most places, that your self-defense claim is completely eliminated if you are provoking somebody, right? You can't claim self-defense after provocation. So that means that if I'm going somewhere and I'm like, what's up, bro? Come on, fight. I'll fight all of y'all. I didn't went up to somebody, provoking them to a physical altercation. They beat me up, and then I pull a gun and shoot them. Well, you can't call for self-defense if you provoke somebody to engage with you. And his own admission of saying, touch me and see what happens. Going under somebody's tent that don't belong to you, that you're not associated with, refusing to leave, and then threatening and saying, touch me. That means that you cannot lawfully remove me because I'm going to do something to you. So touch me and see what happens. It's a provocation for them to engage with him, and therefore he then presents a knife and stabs him. So I'll just read here the statute where it says, or at least the articulation of section 9.31, it says a person is justified in using force against another person when they reasonably believe that it is eminently necessary to protect themselves from others using attempted use of unlawful force. However, this justification does not apply if a person provokes the use of unlawful force, was engaging in criminal activity other than a Class C misdemeanor that is a violation of the law or ordinance regulating traffic, which is the regulating traffic part is not applicable. It's consented to exact force used or attempted by the other, which don't apply here. It's the provocation section, provoking the use of unlawful force. Let me sum it up for you. The prosecution is going to argue that he had no business being in the tent. He had no business carrying a knife to attract me. Once he was asked to leave the tent, he refused to leave the tent. And then he threatened people at the tent that if they try.
The problem is with the tent part is that the tent belonged to the school. So no child can get in here and say that, oh, it's my tent. So Officer Tatum is wrong on that end because the tent belonged to the school. It's not nobody private property. Now that's sad though. That's sad. But let's let Officer Tatum continue to cook, okay?
From the tent, see what happens. And once they pushed him out of the tent or grabbed his bag and shoved him, which is not a use of deadly force, he then turned and produced a weapon and used deadly force against the kid. There is no articulation that he feared for his life, serious bodily injury or death, right? Which is why you would use deadly force. So he had no justification to use deadly force, and he has no defense of self-defense because he provoked the incident. He's going to go to prison, rightfully so. And also there's pictures of him on social media with a gun. It looked like a fake gun, but with a gun and throwing up the middle finger and doing all this stuff. I mean, y'all can act like it's not a behavioral issue with this kid, or you can do whatever you want to do, but he's going to go to jail. And let me just add this. I want to play a clip of the father because this is another part of this incident that I think is a tragedy.
And I want to share this with you too. No matter what color a boy child is, okay, they all do that stupid stuff on social media. Have fake guns and toy guns and hunting guns and trying to act like they gangster and all that other stuff. I still say social media should take your channel down if you display any type of weapon. They should take your social media down if you display any type of weapon, okay? Now, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. It's wrong that the child was doing that on social media. But every child, no matter what color, they have done that nonsense. It doesn't make sense, though. But we're not going to take away from Officer Tatum cooking, okay? Let's continue. Let's get in here.
People, y'all need to stop doing this. You're not going to get the sympathy of black people. A lot of black people hate you to the core, and they don't care what you say. They hate you and want you to be destroyed, and they hate most white people. So you getting on here trying to play the unity train is not going to work.
Now, what Officer Tatum is saying right here, this is wrong, okay? This is wrong, okay? Let me share something with y'all. Most of the time, okay, let's talk about it just a little bit, okay? Most of the time, your best friend be from another race, okay? Most of the time, your best friend be from another race. That doesn't mean that, oh, like he's sitting there saying that black people are plotting on on white folks, that they want to do something bad to white folks, and that's not true. Okay, that's not true, because if it was true, right after we was freed, right after our ancestors was freed from slavery, all hell would have broke loose in this country. That did not happen. Nobody plans on getting any get back and all this foolery. It's only a few heads that think that makes sense. The rest of us don't. Okay? White people, there's a lot of white people who don't believe in get back. And there's a lot of white people who do believe in get back. Okay? They believe in this race war nonsense. But the thing is that the truth is we all need each other. We all need each other. That's the uncomfortable truth. No matter what color you are, we all need each other. This is not a race thing. This is two 17-year-olds that was getting in there fighting, and the whole thing went left. This is not a race issue. Even though y'all want to play it like that, but this is bullying at its finest. And it went left. And nobody want to get in here and tell it. So what Officer Tatum is saying, that we want to do all these bad things to y'all, that's not true. That's not true. Over the years that have intertwined, our bloodlines have mixed because of other things, and then also because our children are marrying each other. Our children are marrying each other. So all this race-based stuff, this is wrong. I don't care what nobody say. This is wrong. So I don't like that part, that what he's saying. But I do like Officer Tatum content. But this part right here, it breaks my heart when you hear this. Okay, but let's continue. Here we go.
Understand why Dad did this, because he don't want the trauma on his heart of making his son's death a bigger issue than it should be. But he's wrong in the sense of trying to act like this is not a racial thing. Roll the clip.
It's very unfortunate that this other child decided to make a bad choice that's going to affect him for the rest of his life. I have compassion for every human being. This is not, I want to make this very clear. This is not a race issue. This is not a black and white issue. I don't want...
That's the father. That's the father. The young boy who got sent to glory. This is his daddy talking, okay? And my heart goes out to the family. Do you hear me? My heart goes out to the family. This is painful. Let's continue. Here we go.
Soapbox trying to politicize this. I don't appreciate some of the remarks I've seen online that people say there was this fight and they don't know, they weren't there.
All right, I respect the dad. He lost his son. I get it. His mind is cloudy right now. But the mother and son disagreed. But let me tell you my side before.
Now he's saying the father mind is clouded, his heart is clouded. The father is using logic like most men do. The father is using logic like most men do. Okay. The mother and the brother are still, you can't, first of all, this is the twin. This is his twin. So he's not going to come to the conclusion like the father did. The mother was in labor. She done carried these babies for 9 months, close to 10. You can't believe that she's going to come to the same understanding as the father. I'm even shocked the father came to this understanding too, but he's trying to use logic because there's people out here that are doing the race card and he's trying to use logic. Now, can I arrive at the same place as the daddy arrived so soon? I don't think I could either. But the father is using logic. So will I say his heart and mind is clouded? I will not say that. I will say he's hurting and he's trying to figure out how he's going to be, to have a king mindset that one of his children, one of his boys is gone. But anyway, let Officer Tatum continue to break this down. Here we go.
Play there. It's 100% a race thing. I said this at the beginning of the show. If there was 2 black kids, nobody would be talking about there would be no GoFundMe. If it was the roles reversed, and the white kid stabbed the black kid, it'd be hell. And in this situation, black people are coming out defending the black kid because of the sake of him being black versus a white person. because they cannot justify what he did. Roll the clip.
I heard your husband say within hours of this that he forgave this other young man, and he got there so quickly. And I honestly don't know that I could. And I just want to see, and I don't know if there's a right or wrong place to be, especially as quickly as this has happened. Megan, how do you feel on that front today?
And they asking the wife, they said, "How? I don't know how you would feel. I don't know how I would feel." You can't say you don't know how, you don't, because y'all have never, you have never been through something like this. And so the father feels that this was not a race thing. He feels that this was an incident that happened between two children. And this is how we supposed to look at it. Two children.
Not like their dad. I'm so angry at that boy. It's just not fair. That's all I have.
And she has the right to be angry. Don't nobody get in here and act crazy. She has the right to be angry. Okay? Let's not get in here and act like not, you know what I'm saying? You lose your child that way. You have the right to be angry. Okay? Let's continue.
All I have to say is it's forgetting, not forgotten, but I'm not at that point yet to forgive that kid for what he did to my brother. Because, 17 years old, my best friend just there and didn't blink of an eye. I lost him. So I'm not at that.
So they pretty much say they're not at that point of forgiveness. God has called us to forgive. It's a struggle, though. Somebody were to do something to my family, I don't know if I can say I forgive them. I don't know if in my heart I can forgive them. It took me years to forgive myself for things I've done. So forgiving somebody else will be very difficult. But I do think this is a race thing, and I think people need to stop trying to play nice guy and call it for what it is. I don't think it's helpful when white people try to be like, oh, we don't want to, they want problems with you, though. They won't smoke with you. They raised $200,000 or something for this boy that killed the white.
That's not true. You see how he said they won't smoke with you? That's not true. That's not true. The truth is, black and white people, they just want to live their life, go to work, take care of their family, mind their business. That's the gospel truth. You wave to your neighbors once in a while. How you doing? You have a cookout in the back, the neighbor see you cooking, you bring the neighbor something. That's it. We don't want to have a race war. But y'all y'all adding to some shit. Y'all adding to it. Nobody wants to see that. Take heed to the message does not support violence. Don't support violence. My channel does not support violence. I'm monetized. Okay? Let's continue because he almost finished. Here we go.
And by all measures, he was wrong. All you have to do is look up the law. He's wrong. You're under somebody's tent, which you shouldn't have been, right? They could have compassion and let you sit under their tent when it's raining. They could. They don't have to. They ask you to leave. You refuse to leave. Then you say, touch me and see what happened to you. Therefore, he's planning to use deadly force against kids under the tent where it's raining at. And I guess they pushed him out of the tent, grabbed his backpack or something, and then he stabbed somebody in the heart. Anybody, unless you're looking for money and fame and you're racist, wouldn't jump on the bandwagon and saying, I'm going to put money for a kid that killed another kid. Unless you're saying he's guilty, but I want to help his family. Because people make mistakes. If you're saying that, I disagree with it. I won't do it, but I see why a person would. But if you're not pushing any of those messages, you're just acting off of racial tribalism. Same thing happened at that Mississippi brawl or Montgomery brawl. You're gonna know how black people really feel about you when something racial happened. When the Montgomery brawl happened, you see black people wearing shirts with that man hit that woman with a chair, and she wasn't even an aggressive person. She was walking around and hit her with a chair. If white people were out here hitting black women with chairs, it wouldn't be funny. But when black people do it, it's funny. To them, it became tribal. Oh, look at all these white folks, man. Look at white folks think, look, my boy was swimming and doing all this. When there's this incident at the track meet, check in on your friends that you think you're real friends. And they're going to start getting tribal. Oh, but the black kid it was self-defense. What was it? Would you be claiming the same argument if the kid was white that stabbed a black kid under a tent he didn't belong under? We know the answer to that.
So, shout out to Officer Tatum. We got one more Tatum. And this one is with Charleston White. Okay? Now, all these stereotypes that Charleston is going to say, and also what Officer Tatum has said. And mind you, I love these two brothers. I love their content. But I don't agree with everything, okay? So the stereotype that they got this young black boy in, it doesn't fit. The boy comes from a stable home. He got a mama and a daddy, okay? People try to say they was on Section 8. Section 8 can't buy no house like that, y'all. Come on now. Section 8 can't buy no house like that. The mama and daddy got some good going on that they can afford to live in that neighborhood. Okay? I'm just letting you know. Okay? They are a stable family. The boy and the other boy, they made bad choices. They made bad choices. It was raining. Have compassion for someone that want to be not, don't get wet. Okay? Also, another thing too, Anthony could have just went into the building. He could have went into another tent. It didn't have to be that tent. Have compassion. But at the end of the day, somebody baby was sent to glory. It's wrong. It's wrong over something that was so foolish. And people want to justify this deletion, and you can't justify this deletion. You can't. You can't justify it. At the end of the day, At the end of the day, 4 parents, their children are gone. The children are gone. One is going to be laid to rest. The other one is going in prison. God knows how long it'll be before he gets home. You don't know the hell he's going to endure in that prison. A mother who breastfed her child, breastfed him, washed him, changed his diaper, she has to put a suit on him and put him in a casket. Come on now. Come on now, somebody. We're not supposed to be happy about this. We're not supposed to get in here and throw that race card in there. Oh, that's right. That's right. That's good. This shit ain't good. This shit ain't good. Let's continue. We're going to get over here to Officer Tatum one more time. We're going to get over here to Officer Tatum one more time with Charleston White breaking it down. Okay? And it's going to be a commercial first. We're going to wait a minute. This is going to be the last, okay? This is going to be the last, y'all, okay? I know I'm holding y'all too long today. I apologize for that. Thank you to everybody who is still here. Thank you to everybody who hit the like and subscribe button. If you like the content, please donate to the channel as well. But I'm coming to y'all with a mother's eye. A mother's eye. This is terrible. This is terrible. This is not white and black. You hear me?
And you're racist. Wouldn't jump on the bandwagon and saying, I'm going to put money for a kid that killed another kid.
No wonder God can bless black people, because black people got a heart for retribution and vengeance and violence and anger. They want to get back at white people.
I want you guys to think of the last movie that makes you think, that challenged you, that inspired you. Angel Studios is bringing these kinds of films to the world. Movies like Sound of Freedom, Homestead, Bonhoeffer, and Something to Stand For. Movies that honor God, that celebrate patriotism, and that lifts your values. With 95% average audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, Angel Studios films are high-quality, family-friendly entertainment that teaches values like freedom, self-reliance, and unity. From documentaries like The Lunatic Farmer to inspiring films like Cabrini and Sound of Hope, they are all about shaping a culture for good. So how can you be a part of this? How can you get involved? Become a premium member in the Angel Studio Guild, a membership that puts you in the driver's seat to help Angel choose what movies they greenlight. And you will get 2 tickets to this incredible new movie, The King of Kings. Let me tell you about King of Kings. It is a blockbuster animated film about the life of Jesus Christ. It is in theaters this Easter. It features an all-star cast, including Oscar Isaac, Pierce Brosnan, Uma Thurman, Forrest Whitaker, my favorite, and more. Using stunning animation with vivid theatrical scenes you have never seen in a movie like this. King of Kings brings the story of Jesus to the big screen for a whole new generation. So join the Angel Guild and get 2 tickets, 2 free tickets to King of Kings, every single theatrical release from Angel Studios, and you can weigh in on what content they make, and you can shape culture. Join the Angel Guild as a premium member at angel.com/Tatum, or simply click the link below. I do think this is a race thing, and I think people need to stop trying to play nice guy and call it for what it is. I don't think it is helpful when white people try to be like, oh, we don't want to, they want problems with you though. They won't smoke with you. They raised $200,000 or something for this boy that killed the white kid. And by all measures, he was wrong. All you have to do is look up the law. He's wrong. You're under somebody's tent, which you shouldn't have been, right? They could have compassion and let you sit under their tent when it's raining. They could. They don't have to. They ask you to leave. You refuse to leave. Then you say, touch me and see what happened to you. Therefore, he's planning to use deadly force against kids under the tent where it's raining at. And I guess they pushed him out of the tent, grabbed his backpack or something, and then he stabbed somebody in the heart. Anybody, unless you're looking for money and fame and you're racist, wouldn't jump on the bandwagon and saying, I'm going to put money for a kid that killed another kid. Unless you're saying he's guilty, but I want to help his family because people make mistakes. If you're saying that, I disagree with it. I won't do it, but I see why a person would. But if you're not pushing any of those messages, you're just acting off of racial tribalism. Same thing happened at that Mississippi brawl or Montgomery brawl. You're gonna know how black people really feel about you when some racial happened. When the Montgomery brawl happened, you see black people wearing shirts with that man hit that woman with a chair, and she wasn't even an aggressive person. He just hit it. She was walking around and hit her with a chair. If white people were out here hitting black women with chairs, it wouldn't be funny. But when black people do it, it's funny. To them, it became tribal. Oh, look at all these white folks, man. Look at white folk think. Look, my boy was swimming and doing all this. When there's this incident at the track meet, check in on your friends that you think you're real friends. And they're going to start getting tribal. Oh, but the black kid was self-defense. What was it? Would you be claiming the same argument if the kid was white and stabbed a black kid under a tent he didn't belong under? We know the answer to that. But before we go to the next topic, I want to play Charleston White's clip. Because Charleston White, although he's, he be tripping sometimes. He be saying all kind of crazy stuff. I think sometimes he's not afraid of calling out the truth in the black community. And he grew up in Fort Worth, Texas, just like I did. Charleston and I probably have a very similar upbringing and experience when it comes to some of this crazy stuff that people of the melanin do. So I'm not saying I agree with everything Charleston says, but sometimes he hit the nail on the head because you can't find a black person in many cases that have any kind of social media following to tell the truth because they get painted as anti-black and they hate black folks. When in reality, it's like we just need to point this stuff out because everybody's an emperor with no clothes. Everybody trying to act like it's not happening. It's insane. Roll the clip.
No wonder God can bless black people. The black people got a heart of retribution and vengeance and violence and anger. They want to get back at white people. No wonder Dr. King them can get some things and we can't. Because Dr. King said, hey man, don't hit them back. Hey man, don't hit them back. And those people got way more. Now this group say, let's kill them. Let's kill them. But show kids, you hear about kids every day in the hood schools getting bullied, but y'all don't have this much outrage for bullying. They have a no bullying month, but y'all don't have this much outrage. But now all of a sudden, let's kill the bully. Most of y'all are bullies.
Now he right about that part right there. Y'all all like, let's delete the bullies. Let's delete the bullies. But how many bullies used to rock the streets in the 70s, in the 80s, in the 60s? Do you know how many young children were bullies? So if we going to delete the bullies, you got to go all the way back. Everybody was a bully in their youth. You were a bully to somebody. Or you were being bullied. And so now we agreeing with let's delete the bully. That doesn't make sense. Let's report the bully. Let's stand up to the bully. That's what we were taught growing up. Stand up to the bully. Don't back down. But that's not a knife. We're not supposed to use a knife. Yeah, it's okay to stand up to the bully. It's okay to put the bully in their place. That's right. But not with a knife. Come on now. Come on. So now let's go and get in here and take the bully's life. We have never been taught that. That is not the key to this situation. Even when these kids go up to those schools and they have those peace be stills and they light up the school, this is wrong. This is wrong too. The child being bullied in school, so the get back is to come up there to the school and have a peace be still and light up the school. This is wrong too. It's not delete the bullies. It's not. It's not. It's to stand up. It's to stand up against the bullying, not deleting people. Let's continue.
Most of y'all, come on, OG bullies. Come on, cripped up bullies. But now we want to kill the bully. But most of black children go to school every day and have to face a bully. Why you think they got to wear Michael Jordan tennis shoes? But now we got a problem with bullies, huh? When have we ever told our kids to go kill the bully? We taught our kids how to stand up to the bully.
Yeah.
No matter if it was two of them, fight both of them.
Yeah.
But you don't put your life in danger to kill unless you got killing in you. But if you listen to kill music, you got killing in you. There's no way good kids kill. I know it was stabbed the girl 93 times, but before he got to 93, he dropped the knife. She begged and she pleaded. He dropped the knife. But because he was abused and he had anger and he had rage inside of him for what his daddy was doing to him, he finished up. What's in you gonna come out of it. And good kids don't stab people to death, y'all. This is a kid with some trauma. Let's get the background story first. Just because he out there in Frisco.
Now, I'm going to share something with you. Charleston could be right about that too. The child could have some trauma. And another thing too, you don't know how long the bullying has been going on either. So yes, something could have been going on. And we don't know the whole story. But when we do find out, we can get in there and really talk about this situation. We all can't come to the conclusion, but we do have to understand that a woman, no matter what color she is, she has lost her son. Another woman, no matter what color she is, her son may spend the rest of his life in prison. So we do know those facts right there. Both of these women who have carried boys for 9 months, close to 10, have lost their sons. So we at least got that understanding. We may not got the whole story, but at least we have that understanding. Renee, you right. You right. You right, Renee. Let's continue. Here we go.
People y'all wrong, and no wonder God got your curse. I'm starting to think that curse on us is real, that the Hebrews say. This group.
And that's another thing. When we get in here, we always talk about the curse on on our bloodline. Okay, that's not true. That curse is not directly on the entire bloodline. It's one son. It's one son that Moses cursed. One son. Okay, out of the 3 sons he had, it was one son. Okay, and they only lived in a certain part of the country, and they still reside there today. Okay, that's not all Ham bloodline. That's not all the sons. It was one son that Moses cursed. And we get in here and we say everybody, all of us, and this and that. All Shem bloodline, Ham bloodline. It's not. It's only one son that Moses cursed. That's it. Anyway, let's continue. Here we go.
There's a little bit more. I'm gonna let him finish, but let me parse through this. I do wonder, to a certain degree, why our young people are doing this more than anybody else. When I say our, the young black boys. I said this on my video last time I talked about this. His parents, what trauma are you putting? If he lived in Frisco, I don't know if y'all know what Frisco is. Now, when black people move somewhere, and I hate that this is the reality, but it happens. When a massive amount of black people move in places become violent, it becomes, ghetto. It just happens. Why do you say that, Brandon? We grew up, when I was living with my dad, we grew up in Crowley. We went to North Crowley High School in Fort Worth, Texas. North Crowley High School.
Now I'm going to stop him right there, okay? It depends on what kind of caliber of black people that's coming to the neighborhood, okay? Because all black people ain't down for that ghetto nonsense. And even though I was raised in the hood, baby, I'm the first one to call the popo. I'm the first one to call the popo on my street. Some shit don't look right. I call the popo real quick, okay? No. So it depends on the caliber of the black person or black people that live in the neighborhood together, okay? That's the difference. Because now if you got all hood boogers together, okay, then yes, the community will fall. If you got all hood boogers together, the community will fall, okay? But if you got different people, different caliber of people, okay? They don't want shit to happen bad in their neighborhood, okay? Like on my block, we have a mixture. It's a mixture of us. But we don't want to see no nonsense happen on the block. It depends. Because sometimes you have black folks that don't play that shit. They don't play that shit. They call popo real quick. And then you have some that they don't mind. So if they don't mind, the neighborhood will change. You get what I'm saying? The neighborhood will change if they don't mind. How is my audio? Is my audio still good? Is my audio still good? Put a 1 in the chat because you know my audio. Excuse me, my audio will act a fool, honey. Please forgive me if it did, okay? So that's the gospel truth. So what he's saying, that's not true. It depends on what kind of community these people agree to, okay? When the first two roles of our community, is in an area, okay, the first two roles, that's the ghetto roles of our community. The first two roles is the hood roles of our community. If they are in a community together, yes, the community will fall. But the rest of us who go to church, not even church every day, but do attend church, do believe in Yahweh, and the ones who go to work, they got businesses. Our communities don't look like that. They don't look like that. Okay? They don't. We be the first one to call the popo. We see some nonsense in here. Okay, the popo know who you is. They already know. We on our way out. You got address so and so. We on our way out. We coming. So all of us ain't down for nonsense like that. Black Queen, I see you, honey. Daryl, how are you? Let's continue with the nonsense. Here we go.
Like I think you would consider that middle class people. The school was brand new, 4 years old, majority white, and most of the black people that lived there were middle class, right around middle class. It was safe. White people outside walking their dogs. We could drive around, go to the park. All the kids play together. It was safe. It was a great environment to grow up in. And they brought the projects and moved it right across the tracks over there on McCart. I think it's called McCart. And all of a sudden, the community began to go downhill. Now they breaking in people's cars. The football team good. I think they won a state championship. Basketball team good. The sports teams go up. Crime. All that stuff go down. The school system is not what it was when I went to North Crowley. I guarantee you that school is low performing now, when it was a high performing school when I went there. It's unfortunate. Frisco, Texas. We lived in Plano. Well, my mom lived in Plano, Frisco when I first went to college. She was married and she lived there. And none but white people. Very high end area. Frisco, Texas was upper middle class. You get $1 million homes, all that stuff in Frisco, Plano, brand new. And now they move these people in there. And that stuff get a little weird. Let me say this. This young kid is troubled enough that he lives in Frisco, Texas, and is bringing a knife to school. I want you to think about your city and think about the most prestigious city in your community, which in your metro area. And then think about a kid with a knife at that school and doing stuff like that. You say, well, how did it get to that point where kids are bringing knives to school? When in Frisco, Texas, and Plano was like upper echelon. And now you got kids bringing knives to school and practice and all kind of stuff. It's a problem. The music we listen.
We as a people don't.
I want to share something with you. It depends. Let me share something with y'all.
Unless you're looking for money and fame.
It depends on the caliber of black people that you let into the community. That's the problem. It depends on the caliber of black people that are in the community. Because this is the thing. If you go and have a full black community, but this community is handling a business, no nonsense is going on in the community, okay? And then all of a sudden they start getting some ratchet people in the community. The people who are living upright, they're going to get rid of the ones that's ratchet. They're going to be calling the po-po on this one. Every time you turn around, they're going to get them out of there. But if you go to a community that's already ratchet, and there's a few in the community that are not ratchet, that are African American, the ones who are not ratchet going to leave because the ratchet is going to take over the community. So not all black communities are bad. Like where I live at in South Jersey, in certain parts of South Jersey, there's a majority of just African American that live down here. And the community is beautiful. There's no nonsense and stuff like that. Nothing crazy is going on. But then if you go across to a different community, a different section in South Jersey, it'll be nothing but us, but it'll be bad. So it depends on the caliber of people that is put in that area. Do you understand? Like in that area, you see everything. But if you come over to our area, you see nothing. Nothing is no liquor stores. None of that stuff is over here. no craziness. You know what I'm saying? Nothing. But if you go over to across, we'll say across the tracks. You go over across the tracks, there's all types of nonsense over there. They got a liquor store, churches, everything, all this other stuff, all together. Okay? All together. I just want to let y'all understand that, because Tatum is in here talking about every black community is bad, and that's not true. Even though I like Officer Tatum, but everything he's saying is not. That's not. Yeah. Okay. That's not. A lot of black people don't have no hidden agenda trying to destroy white people. That's too much. You know. That's too much. Even though I like his content, but that's too much. Let's get into it.
No compassion. I remember telling my brother one time, God will never let you out of jail if you ain't got no remorse for the people you killed. No remorse for the men's family. No remorse for the men's boys, father, mother, brother. But y'all got so much for Lil Ronnie, and Lil Ronnie brought death on. Look, come on now. Lil Ronnie brought death on himself. Y'all had all the compassion. But here is a white kid, two little boys having some more issues. And one little boy killing another little boy. You can tell me you black people ain't got no compassion for neither side.
And he right about that. Because y'all don't have no compassion about how that mother lost her son. And because he's white, y'all ain't there talking about that's right, don't get in here and mess with nobody because you'll F around and find out. How do you feel that way, baby? How do you think that makes sense? For you to say that this is a mother who lost her son, and y'all in here like that's right, he had to show them. What do you mean he had to show them? What do you mean you had to show? Show who, baby? Who show who? This mother has lost her son. First of all, listen. A black woman has lost her son too. He's going to prison. She may never see him outside those walls. Y'all don't know what kind of time this boy gonna get. Everybody is up here, making suggestions and stuff like that. But this is what the law, everybody knows that the law has never been meant to be fair to anybody, no matter. The law has never been meant to be fair. The law is, first of all, that's why they got a blindfold over her eyes. Never meant to be fair. But for us not to have compassion, no matter what color this woman is, she lost her son. Is this not, you know what I'm saying? This is wrong. The woman lost her son. Our sister lost her son. Our melanated sister lost her son. Our Caucasian sister, yes, I said it. Our Caucasian sister lost her son. This is not what we need right now for us to get. That's right. He done effed around and found out. What the fuck does that mean, y'all? What does that mean? Let's continue. Here we go.
That's why you curse, black folks. That's why your situation, God is looking at y'all heart. That's why your finances can't be increased. That's why your children won't go to the NFL. God is looking at y'all hearts. Black people, y'all ought to be ashamed. That's why your children are dying and being murdered the way they're being murdered. They're being grandchildren. Man,
now let me speak to that issue. Do I think black people are cursed? Maybe not to the extent that Charleston is saying, but I do think it's a problem, man. I honestly feel like black people have the deepest connection to spirituality out of any group. And when you have a deep connection to spirituality, you're worshiping, the church is good, religious, you get judged harsher. And when y'all out here playing with God, I feel like that's why things don't go well. Let me just mention this, and then we're gonna move to the next story. There's a spirit out here. Spirits are real. The devil is real. As long as unanimously, maybe not fully unanimously, but as long as black people are still holding a grudge over white people, God is not gonna bless black people generally, or those who feel this way, to the fullest of their capacity. If you're still holding on to unforgiveness and revenge against black people, God can't bless you like He could if you would be forgiven or have a forgiving spirit. Why do you say that, Brandon? Because that's one of the things that God told us to do: forgive other people, or you won't be forgiven. And we running around generation after generation after generation being taught to hate and feel this resentment against white people about what happened in slavery and in Jim Crow, where no living white person was a part of, and we wasn't. You know what I mean? We weren't a part of it either. Nobody we know, most of us, nobody we know had anything to do with any of that. And if you keep doing,
so I'm gonna stop Officer Tatum right there. Shout out to Officer Tatum. There's no hate. I don't have no hate towards that brother. I don't have no hate towards I have no hate towards the amazing Lucas either. I don't have any hate towards Charleston White either. But at the end of the day, a lot of the stuff these brothers said is not true. It's not true. All of us don't feel the same like that. The thing is, some of y'all have made best friends. You have been made friends with different races. Some of y'all had grew up with different races. Some of y'all your love is different. Some of y'all have spouses that come from a different race. Your children are mixed. Do you understand? All the time you always hear people say we got to get over slavery. We got to get over slavery. You always hear people get in here and they say you got to get over slavery. And I'm going to share something with you. We will never get over slavery. We won't. It's too painful. But let us put it on the right people. Okay? Let us put it on the right people. Let us put it on the right people. And the people who are responsible is gone. They're dead. They're dead. The people who are responsible for destroying and tearing up our bloodline, they're dead. And our ancestors are gone too. Now, don't get me wrong, you have some people who are racist. You do. America will always be like that because of the history. But there will be a time where we will have to wake up and know that we need one another. I'm telling you, there will be a time. I could never tell you to get over slavery. I can't. I can't tell you. I can't tell you. I can't tell you because it hurts. The stories that we heard is painful. It may have been passed down from generation to generation of the stuff that you have heard. I can't tell you to get over slavery. I can't. I can't tell you. The horror that we heard and seen, I can't tell you. Am I tired of hearing about it? I am. Do I wish we could get over it? I do. But the pain is too hard. But let's direct it at the right people. These people who put our bloodline through this horrible nonsense is dead. And our ancestors have gone on to glory. This is the uncomfortable truth that we don't want to hear. This incident between Anthony, okay? Anthony, this incident between Anthony, and I want to get this young man's name too as well. Let me get in here and get this first before we get out of here. And McBride, I think it is, but I just want to make sure I have the name correct because we always say when people pass away, we got to get the name.
He forgives the teen accused of fatally stabbing his son at a high school track meet. Police are now revealing what led to the terrifying moment. Here's ABC's Andrea Fujii.
New details about the killing of Austin Metcalf, the student stabbed at a high school track meet near Dallas. According to the arrest affidavit,
Austin Metcalf, okay? Because we want to say the name. Austin Metcalf, okay? Oh my God. Hold on, let's finish it out.
Well, Karmelo Anthony has confessed to the killing, saying he was trying to protect himself.
He knew how much I loved him, how much I do for him. Anything, I do anything for him.
Hunter Metcalf says he held his twin brother Austin as he was dying.
I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see the stab. But then I looked at my brother, and I'm not going to talk about the rest. No.
It happened at the district championship meet in Frisco. Hunter says his brother had asked Karmelo to move his seat because he was sitting under the wrong tent. A witness says Karmelo replied, "Touch me and see what happens." And when Austin grabbed him, Karmelo allegedly pulled a knife.
They asked him to move, and when Austin grabbed his backpack to move, take it, he stabbed him in the chest and killed him.
He's now charged with first-degree murder.
Just because the kid was mad, my son is not here anymore, and I don't understand it.
Austin is being remembered as an honors student with aspirations to play college football. Despite the shocking loss, Austin's father says he chooses forgiveness over anger.
I forgive the other person because the forgiveness is not for him. The forgiveness is for me, so I can have peace. His life is destroyed. My life is destroyed.
Affidavit.
Now, the father is right. The forgiveness is not for him. It's for the father. Because the father has to go on with that other twin and he has to take care of his wife. So the forgiveness is for him. This is true. Just like we in here talking about slavery, the forgiveness is for you. It's not for anybody else, my sisters and brothers. The forgiveness is for you. Y'all in here, you angry, you upset. This is not a race issue. This is a bully issue. If you are a mother and a father, you know that children get bullied in school. This is a bully issue. When you have a white child go to the school with a peace be still and he light up the whole school and he deleting white children, is that a race issue? No, it's a bully issue. It's a bully issue. This is a bully issue. And because someone said, touch me, you'll see what happened. If you touch me, you're going to see what happened. So black people, we supposed to condone, if you touch me, you're going to see what happened. How do you do that? You have never said to somebody, oh, if you touch me, you're going to see what happened. You ain't never say that to somebody. That wasn't that you had something on you. That was you was going to rise up and lay those hands. This doesn't make sense, y'all. This doesn't make sense, y'all. It doesn't. Don't let no other content creator tell you this makes sense. This does not make sense. It doesn't. Two families have lost sons. This does not make sense. One will be burying their son. The other one will be watching their son behind bars. Both families are broken. Both families are broken. This is a bully issue. This is why Take Heed asks and Instagram. So bullying means death? Put it in the chat for me, all y'all that's here. Does bullying mean death? Yes or no? Does bullying mean death? Yes or no? Because if we getting in here saying that yes, it means death, that means we're lost. That means you lost, baby, if you believe bullying means death. Because 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds bully each other. 3-year-olds, 4 years old, 5-year-olds, 6 years old, 7 years old, 8 years old, 9 years old, 10 years old, 11 years old, 12 years old, 13 years old, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. That should not mean death. It should not mean death, y'all. It shouldn't mean death. Regardless if you want to call me a coon, you want to call me evil, you want to call me I'm not with my race, you want to call me all these names, a bad wench, this and that. At the end of the day, I am a mama. I'm a mama, damn it. I'm a mama at the end of the day. And it is not right that you lose your child because of some stupid like this. It is not right that you lose your baby. That you got to bury your baby. Do you know what's a parent's worst nightmare? You know what's a parent's worst nightmare? It's to put their baby in the ground. That's the worst nightmare for a parent, is to put their baby in the ground. It is a walk that a lot of parents don't want to see. Do you hear me? There's a walk that a lot of parents don't want to see. And that's one of them, to not have to bury your baby. And we up here battling about what color and how color and this color, and nobody wants to bury their child, honey. I don't care what nobody tell you. Nobody wants to bury their child. Nobody wants to go and pick a suit out of their child closet and bury their baby. Nobody wants to do that. Look at this as the eyes of a mother. Something's wrong somewhere. We cannot get in here and be like, this makes sense. This is not a color thing. This is a bully thing. You stand up to bullies. You fight back. Not delete somebody. The old saying is that you must live to fight another day. That is the old saying. I would have rather you raise your hands and take heed to the message does not support violence. But I'd rather you raise your hands than take something and take somebody's life. Because now you don't know. Look at this child. One of our children is going to prison and be around God knows who. And they're going to break this boy. They're going to break this boy. They're going to hurt this boy. 17 years old, he don't even know what he stepped into. While this other parent, the family, got to have a ceremony for their child and put their child to rest and always think about this baby. And the twin gonna always think about his brother. Bullying should not lead to death. I'm trying not to cry because I'm holding it, but bullying should not lead to death. Guys, thank you so much. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Thank you for liking and subscribing to the channel. I appreciate you. Thank you to everybody who donated to the channel. If you like the content, please like and subscribe to the page. Also donate to the page as well if you like the content. If you want, and the Cash App link, Cash App, Venmo, and Super Chat is there in my bio. Okay? Super Chat right now is in the link now if you want to donate. If you want to shop with us, our family business is called ubmrexfashion.com. Also have links for Mercari, POSHMARK, and eBay in my bio, okay? If you want to shop merch, scroll to the top of the page. You will see shop or store. If you're interested, okay? If you're interested, go check it out. See if you like anything. They got hoodies, shirts, mugs, water bottles, baby clothes, all that good stuff, okay? All that good stuff. But I want to say this to you before we go. I want to say this to you before we go. A man's walk is not easy. Boys' walk is not easy. Do you understand? Their walk is not easy. They get thrown all type of shit at them. And they must what? They must suck it up. They must continue to move on. They must continue to do what they're supposed to do. But they always forget that they're human. They're human. People always forget that. Y'all have a wonderful afternoon. Y'all take heed to the message.